live death every day.
Art Thibert's Oodles of Doodles and Other Stuff Too is a 60-page, 9x12 hardbound book that will be printed on thick glossy stock paper and is a compilation of artwork from award-winning artist, Art Thibert. This book is filled with images that come from Art's Marvel, DC, Image and Comicsgate work. That includes convention doodles, commissions, creator-owned IPs and pop culture subjects that Art has brought to life with his masterful draftsmanship. Art Thibert's signature style is both lyrical and meticulously realized. The mastery of craft, seen in his work, owes itself to his 40 years in the comic industry, as well as viewing life through his own love of the art form itself. Fans of art prints have the opportunity to back one or both of the mini-print tiers. Both are stunning collections of work that you can back individually, or together as a bundle. Art Thibert's Oodles of Doodles and Other Stuff Too. Back it now, on Indiegogo.
When footsteps fall in eldritch hollows, and spectres shadows, that is the time when horror's heroes abound, culling the ghouls that go bump in the night.
Yeah! Hey, how's everybody doing? It is great to see you, my friends, from the heart of Lovecraft Country and the birthplace of American religious liberty. My name is SHANTH ENJETI. This is SHANTH ENJETI Art. And for the first time in a long time, longer than I care to admit, I have a book funding, and I can actually say to you guys, not coming soon, not at some point in the future, but if you want to get a hold of these things we're always talking about, you can do so now. And thanks to Ethan for hosting the launch on his stream. The book was funded. It took me all weekend to fund the first book. It was funded in a couple of hours with him. We're at $6,000 now, and I'm hoping that, you know, if I keep pushing and keep working hard and we keep getting the word out, it's going to go higher and higher, and that is the plan. But I wanted to make sure I said, gosh, I've missed you guys. I was taken out by a migraine yesterday because I wanted to stream. I had everything set up, and I was ready to rock, but so much cool stuff is happening. I'm really excited about this book. I want to talk to you guys about some of the things that I haven't really talked about yet with regards to Nosfero the Crypt Walker. Things I wanted to share with you guys, and so I want to see who's here first, so let's do that. Let's have a looky-loo, let's have a gander, and hit that like if you have not yet, folks, because that's an important part of this whole dance we do with YouTube. So we have got Emo Trash channel member here. It is great to see you. We've got Stephen Rockwood holding court and keeping tally with 79 backers. He said, who will be 80? Who will be 80? That is the question. And there is the link. Thank you, Stephen, for dropping that. Past Master Dan, legend around these parts. OG, always happy to see you here, brother. Mark's Music Obsession, finally having the opportunity to back this book. Mark, you were first and foremost on my mind when it came to launching this campaign. I go, I can't I can't have Mark be without the opportunity to back this book, man. So I'm excited. Past Master Dan letting us know he's listening as he works on his old S10. Look at that, man. Lots of love for the S10s up in here. Yep, and there we go, 6,138 and counting. Let's go, everybody, I say. Let's see who else. We've got John OG in the house. Who else have we got? I think I saw some people coming. Channel member Scottsley, another OG. Thank you for being here, Scottsley. It's great to see you. Let's see who else I've got. Oh my gosh, I've got my brother from another mother. He is unique, almost like no other. Rocky Ballesteros hanging out here. It's great to see you, Rocky. Paulus Arts is here. Great to see you, Paulus Arts. We've got channel member Grey Wolf, OG for sure. And speaking of OG, maybe he heard me. Chance to be. It's Antoine Dennison. It's great to see you, Antoine Dennison. I have a hat just like that. That's right, man. Put it on, cock it to the side just like Jimmy Cagney, and then we're going to be rocking this business. That's how it goes. And of course, what a perfect channel member note right there. Timmy Mello, it is great to see you. God bless you, brother. Good day, gents. At Moms in the chat, I think. I don't know. I can't. For some reason, I don't read as well as I don't read well. I think that's the best way to put it. And Antoine is saying hello to everybody. So let's talk about this, guys. Let's talk about this. It has been such a crazy... Madams. That's right. Thank you. I tell you what. That Timmy Mello has class. About the only class I ever had when I was a kid was gym class. And I didn't even do well at that. So here's the thing, guys. Lots of craziness happened in the last week or so. Great craziness. Crazy craziness. But I dropped my 2 children off at school. It was a great experience. I'm not going to give too many details because there are weirdos out there, but they're both in great places and places that I feel reflect the ideals that I value. I'm sure you guys can imagine what those are. But this is the thing about it, guys. So before we did that, just to take it back just a little bit, before we did that, Sean, I want that book behind you. Which one? Oh, is that the Dracula book? Is that the one? Or I'm assuming it's the Dracula book. Yeah, I just got that right before I started streaming. Holy cow. So here's the thing about it that was so amazing. I had the opportunity. I promised my kids since they were little. We hadn't taken a family vacation in like 8 years, guys. It was... and I mean, we do stuff together, we do all that kind of stuff, but we just didn't have the money, we didn't have the resources, and I wanted to do something to celebrate them going, but a last vacation before they went off to school. And the thing I have to say is that it always feels like you're on a vacation. It always feels like you're on a vacation when you've got people with you, people of a sort, people like this man right here, Flawless Dan Lawless. And Dan, I hope you don't mind. I hope it's not a concern of yours or something strange, but even though it's not the show for it, let me see if I can find it. I feel like I gotta do this. Charge! Because it's not that stream. But Dan, there you go. We gotta give a shout out to Dan.
Like Trump said, fight.
Fight, exactly right,
Charge.
man. How are you doing, brother? It's great to see you.
I am doing excellent. So I'm excited about your launch was your second chance launch. Very good.
Yes,
well
man.
Done.
Very excited, dude. And I gotta share. And thank you for being there, Dan. First of all, thank you for being there.
Oh, okay.
I was really touched by everybody who showed up for the launch, on Ethan's, and it really was fantastic. And but I was just telling them that I went down to Universal Studios the first time I've gone on a vacation, and I went to that Harry Potter thing that they built there. Those incredible theme park designers built there.
Earlier years ago, I was there, but I was there.
With the Harry Potter part, when that was
they didn't have all the stuff yet, but when it was kind of like brand new-ish.
Wow.
And I was there.
Yeah.
And it was great. I thought it was awesome. Except I couldn't go on one ride because the kids were couldn't handle it.
Yes. I can imagine.
I mean, they were of the age that they could go on most of the rides, but there was just like stomach issues.
Oh, dude, it was the same way here. I gotta give a shout out to channel member celebrating, and I love seeing this. 11 months of membership. He's getting to be OG now here. Mark's Music Obsession. I grabbed the Crypt Treasure Trove. That is the big tier, which has so many things that you're not going to be able to get ever again. Funny enough. As fast as I humanly possibly could. when it went live, and I was still the 9th backer. Yeah, guys, makes a dude feel good, and here you go for that. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, it was amazing, man.
That girl's hotter than the other two, by the way.
See, listen, man, I'm cool with that. I mean, whatever you like, Dan, whatever fickles your tansy, we're here to take care of you, brother. So yeah, I was there.
It's an observation, it's an objective observation, and or maybe I should say subjective, but yeah, I'm just trying to be logical here.
Just keep digging, Dan.
This is what I tell my wife. It's just a logical observation. That woman is objectively attractive.
That's right. There you go. There you go.
Matter of fact statement. Not
well, for me, the only woman I have eyes for is Mrs. Enjetti, Dan. But whatever you think is not going to get you in trouble, rock with but the thing is,
who's in trouble here? What did I do? I didn't do nothing.
I don't know. I'm just trying to get you in trouble. It's a problem I have, But it's But the thing is that when I was down there and when I was checking out that space. And this was, of course, and there is Gen X Catholic. It is great to see you, brother. I am so happy to have you here. And yes, indeed, bow to Mrs. Enjetti. But when I was down there, this was when all of the stuff was kind of kicking up with the Snow White remake, right? This was when all that stuff was kind of kicking up. And what a lot of people may not know who haven't been on the stream and haven't watched me stream before, and this is not to jump on something, by the way, that's topical, because Lord knows I haven't mastered that by any stretch. But it was, the movie Snow White is incredibly important to me. So is Walter Elias Disney, is very important to me. An incredible American, and I think that the first Snow White, his first movie, his feature, Snow White, is a masterpiece. And one of the things I love about it is the cobblestone, the attention to detail in the backgrounds, that kind of European old school meets American sensibilities.
Can we bring up some stills?
I wish I could. Unfortunately,
let me. Oh,
yeah.
Can I?
Yeah, you can call some up.
And then we can, because I like to, when we're talking about stuff, to show it.
Oh hell yeah, man! So here's the thing that gets me, right. So what a lot of people may have seen. I'm trying not to give away too many spoilers here, but when you see things like this spiral staircase in Nosfero, this is inspired by the Snow White staircase that the queen runs down before she turns into the witch. Do you know what I mean? This is the stuff that really inspired my work. So when I went to the Harry Potter, there's even a more particular version of me showing off that kind of spiral stone staircase thing lurking in the background. But when I went there to the Harry Potter place, it was like, I go, why isn't Disney doing this? And what is up, channel member Mighty Geek Studios? And so when I'm working on Nosfero and I'm looking at all this stuff, and you see this kind of computer generated, and I mean, generated not by a human mind, it feels like, take on Snow White, and people say, where's the craftsmanship? Where's all that stuff? That's what I wanted to bring into what I'm doing here. So this is where you come, and guys, back away, because I think this stuff is important. I think American ingenuity and a connection with traditions are very important. So you look up people like Gustav Tengren, who worked on the Snow White backgrounds and things like that. I was looking for my Making of Snow White or Art of Snow White book before we started. I couldn't find it. Maybe we'll do something with that. Don't you know? That could be fun, Dan.
I'm pulling it up right. I mean,
no. I mean for the thing we were talking about before.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, that could be a fun one. So yeah, Dan and I have got some things cooking. And these are things
we want to do focus on an Illustrator store shows and actually really in-depth study, not just like, hey, let's look at these cool pictures and stuff. I want to pull out what I want to do is show people how we as artists learn from other artists, copying, focusing on areas, and incorporating that. They'll watch us literally learn as we'll do a study. It's a study. That's what you study for an exam. You study
learn. No, go ahead. I said people have been watching me not learn all my life, there, Dan. So it's
But this stuff doesn't come out of nowhere. You study just like you're studying for an exam, and you study an artist, and you pick up and learn stuff from them, and then you bring that into your mix, into your what you want to believe in, your approaches, and so that's what I want to do. Show people how to do that. Yeah. How to study.
Yeah, I mean, and also, how to, and this is a big part of what I do here on these streams, is that to show people that we can make, like, I agree with folks that say, look, you know, you're not going to topple Hollywood, you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that, but when you create alternatives and when you show that there is momentum behind things going on in the independent space, that's about the only thing that gets the mainstream to turn its head and go, maybe we need to shift back this way, because they're not typically innovation houses, right? That's not what they're about. They're houses that sort of take something they see working and try to do it. And for me, the kind of message in Nosfero and the kind of idea of that return to heroism, that return to not showing characters who are just at that infancy stage of overcoming adversity, you know, where they're just holding a grudge, but people who have done something positive. And so that's why so much of what I'm doing in this book is, is about that. You know, a good example was I was just reading the book, and plug your ears if you don't want. It's not a massive spoiler, but it's a spoiler enough. But I was looking at this part where Lascivia, the villainous vampire, is shouting at Nosfero as he's fleeing with Laurel, and she goes, my bats will feast upon her flesh as we once feasted upon yours. And it's this kind of look at the backstory of Nosfero, and then when you see what she's referring to, and you think about what it takes to go into the depths of this stuff, that's the stuff that excites me anyway about heroism. That's the stuff that gets me excited about this book, you know. And so, guys, those of you guys who've already backed the book, and you know who you are, who are in the chat, please post your backer numbers. I know you guys have those, but drop your backer numbers in the chat. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I want to make sure I thank you guys. Because it really is fantastic to see this. And again, Comicsgate makes all of this stuff possible. I can't say that enough. But I mean, that stuff, man, the level of craftsmanship, it takes decades to gain that stuff, but it takes a motivated audience with, taste, with passion for quality, to make it live. And that's what I've been, fascinated by. That's what I was kind of feasting in during that week that I was on vacation, was seeing that level of attention to detail that all of the theme park folks that Disney lost are doing at Universal now, right?
I found those places to be really, there was a Disney magic. I felt like it was just kind of, it was magical being there. Everything there. And actually the cleanliness of the parks, I was surprised. I remember once I was standing in line for something, and some kid dropped an ice cream, and the guy who was doing like the sweet, he had a broom and pan and stuff on a stick. He couldn't get it with his thing, so he stood over it, like he sort of straddled his ice cream, just made sure no one, as someone else got a mop, went to go clean, so no one would step on it and track it around. It was incredible. I was like, wow, this is really pretty intense service. It was so that those the parks were clean, and they really it's all about service, and just it was just, I thought they really had a lot of fun. It was worth it to go there. So
well, yeah, it was and what's interesting is, so we had done the Disney World thing up until very recently, and we started seeing, there it is. I got to get that on here, man. Backer number 3. But then backer number 409, and now backer number 3 again. Wow. So he did 3 and 409 on the last campaign. My God, that number seems like always insane. And backer number 3 again. And then there you go. Random McRanderson, OG and channel member. Contribution ID 26 on the Second Chance campaign. Contribution ID 166 on the original. Random. Thank you. God bless you, man. I appreciate that so much, man. All of you guys are awesome. I know people are probably going to find their backer number. But my wife looked at me while we were there, and she goes, and we were caught on camera, Dan. I don't know if I told you this, but I told Eric Weathers this recently. So my wife and I were sitting in Harry Potter land, and all of a sudden this YouTuber that I recognize from the Disney YouTubers or the theme park YouTubers, named Lorena Creole. Some of you guys in the chat may know her channel. She comes walking by, and I go, I think that's Lorena Creole. She has a giant GoPro. And then we watched the stream, and there we were, sitting there
Yeah.
She walked past us.
Cool, man.
So Proof 5 left the house, but it was my wife said to me, she goes, every bathroom I've been to here is clean. And we noticed a dip last time we were at, Disney World when the kids were 10. My God. We saw a dip in quality. Those little things matter. Packing the books up, the things we do, the attention to customers that we do here, that's important. We've got a Happy Friday down there from Phil. What's up? Happy Friday, man.
Because the thing is, if you don't do good quality, you're going to hear about it.
Yeah.
They can tell tell you right to your on Twitter, or they can come on here in the chat and say that my book sucked, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Well,
that printing was way off. Like, oh,
well,
okay.
here's the crazy part, right? There's that, that thing is one aspect of it. Here's the one that shocks me because, it's such a strange thing to say, but I hope for everybody who backs these books, you also get that feeling when you get it. Oh my God, I helped to make this. Do you know what I mean? It's so cool. Whenever I get a project and I feel like I could grab any random stack of books and you'll see, things that I backed, but I'm just like, we helped make this book happen. This is the preview book. We helped make this book happen. Things that were just a conversation that we were having, and then bang, they happened.
Yeah. People think
incredible.
the crowdfunding is they're saying they're acting like it's a purchase. It's not a purchase. It's a support.
It's bigger than that. Yeah,
and you're actually part of the process. That's exciting to me because now the readers can actually. Readers can go out there, and I've had this happen where they say, "Dan, you've said it, like make me a book," like, and I'm like,
yeah,
me. So that's when you know it's time to make a book, when somebody says, people are going, you better get to the drawing table right now, make something. Okay,
well, we dream it here, man. We dream it here. And yes, thank you, Random. I appreciate that. Contribution ID 26 on the Second Chance campaign. Contribution ID, wow, my God, Random. 166 on the original campaign. When I love seeing that because it's context for this. Nobody can say bad thing. Oh, thank you. About how you packed the first campaign. Personalized thanks even. Yep. Guys, I bagged and boarded every single book. I packaged every single one of those 660, whatever it was, plus orders. It was a lot of boxes, and I was happy to do it. It's one of my favorite things in the world. So when you guys back this book, every single edition, the oxidized edition or the second edition of the book is going to have a couple of editorial changes, one in particular that I missed, but then it's going to have new bonus materials. And the Lascivia painting I did for John Malin's Godlike Visions book is going to be printed in a Nosfero book for the first time with that. And Antoine, I know exactly what you mean. Antoine's here to say thank you for your package, Sean. Antoine, tip of the cap, my friend.
You can't say that way today. No, there's a lot of things you can't say anymore. or can you?
I think you're pretty safe saying it in this day and age, Dan. I gotta be real with you.
Well, I'm just saying, if you don't,
if you don't want to send the wrong signals, right? If you don't want to send the wrong signals. Well, this is the wild thing about it, right? Is I'm looking at Snow White, and I'm looking at when I did this book, right? When I did this book, I was thinking about Snow White, and I was thinking about femininity. And also, of course, this is a book for older audiences. This isn't a book for kids. This is for Zeta. This is Solomon Kane. This is all those things I love. And I wanted to make her both sexy but feminine. Do you know what I mean? A feminine girl. And I wrote her as feminine because I think that femininity is one of the most inspiring and powerful qualities a woman can have on the planet. You know what I mean? Grace. And I also think of Grace Kelly when I say grace, but you know what I mean. It's that embodiment of grace.
Did you see that video lately of the girl who was like, she was doing that Marvel thing, she's kicking ass all those guys, and then they show
Yes, I did see that, yeah. Yes. Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
It's the weirdest thing because what is the word? That particular thing, what is it? Gosh, I think it was in one of the Bourne movies where he goes, Pam, you talk about these things like you read it in a book. And that's how I feel about fighting, and that's how I feel about drama when you do things. Like that moment, one of my favorite moments, I'm going to see what I can show now. A little bit of what I can show. but one of my favorite moments in, these books are the moments, no, I feel like I can't give that away, but there are the moments where characters interact, and those little still moments, where somebody, I always say that romance is memory plus specificity, and so is comedy. It's it's like you gotta kind of know how things are happening. But there's a beautiful moment between a father and son like character where, for the punchline of it, I can say this much: the character surprises Nosfero with some insight, and he's like, "How did you?" And he's like, "A father just knows." You know what I mean? And that's a wonderful thing to you don't hear that anymore. Father knows best, or a father just knows, or a father knows his kids. You know what I mean? It's like everyone else knows your kids better than you. And when you see the women in your life that you care about, that are in your family, you'd move a mountain for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted her to inspire Nosfero to go, oh, she's worthy of what he puts on the line. She gets it. She gets what he works for.
Right.
She
Yeah, the
knows
old
who he is.
damsel in distress. You don't
Yep.
see that anymore.
No.
Nothing. You never see it. And the reality is, sometimes a woman is a damsel in distress.
Sure.
That happens.
Well, and we've also got a
bunch of big guys. I've seen some. You see all these videos all the time. Like, some woman's purse is a purse grabber, and all these guys just pile on this thief or something. And it's great. It's like, but she can't. She's a slightly built young lady, and she can't fight some guy and run by a motorcycle or something, and guys pop up and just clock them or something. It's like that happens. That's the reality.
And thank
generally
God,
speaking, there's certainly tough women, but generally speaking, men are stronger than women physically. So that's
sure.
Objective
and
truth.
I think that for me too, there's also the element that people are missing. You know what I mean? You see a lot of times where I think about and Tammy D, one of the channel members here, and shout out to her, where you have nurses and you see the relentless caregiving of someone who is absolutely, passionate, committed to that work, that sort of thing that just aids people in healing. And The Right Girl, as was said in one of my favorite movies, It's a Wonderful Life, which is a very dark movie in terms of thematically, if you really look at it, is that his mother says to him, a girl like that can help you find some of the answers. I believe it is, his mom says.
Oh, really?
And it's
I don't know that. I don't remember that line. I know the movie, of course, very well, but
great.
I didn't know that. I didn't think of that line. That's pretty cool. Okay, so I got some Snow White pulled up here if you want to look at it.
Awesome. Let's do it, man. Let's take a look at this. So, guys, just so you know what we're talking about, and guys, do back Nosfero. The link is in the top of the description. Yeah, I gotta tell you something, Stephen Rockwood. I'm a huge fan of Jimmy Stewart. He's great. We love him. So God, what's wrong with me, Dan?
I didn't know you could do a Jimmy. It's a great Jimmy. Oh my god!
You got to do a Jimmy every now and again, man.
Well, you can't. Not everybody can do it. You just nailed it, man.
Yeah, let me see if I can add this here. Hang on a second. My senioritis. Let's do.
Every once in a while, you surprise me with some new voice that you can do it.
Look at it. Look at the glory. Oh, thank you, Mark. God bless you. Both of his sisters are RNs, he says. Well done. But yeah, isn't that beautiful? Isn't that breathtaking?
Look at her skin tones in shadow.
Yep.
They did that. You think about it. They were thinking about her being in the sort of the shadow, the light, but she's still colored. And it's nice.
You know that story, don't you? She
No.
looked. Everybody was looking at the Snow White. Dailies coming back in the animation. They said she looked dead, and they didn't know what to do. And it was the ink and paint gals who said, we're going to apply rouge to her cheeks on the cells frame by frame. And that's why she has that warmth in her cheeks. So yes, those were the ink and paint girls stepping up and having... and I remember the ads for the making of that, not because I was alive, but I wish I was in some ways, just to see it, where they said, and this is what you expect of guys. The guys had sort of the sweatbox kind of really rough, animation rooms and tables, and he goes, and here are where the ink and paint girls are in their own building with air conditioning. Like, it's like we're making sure they're air conditioned. Don't worry. And I love that about those errors. And thank you for dropping the link past Master Dan. Nosfero, the second chance. Guys, I'm excited. This is a new book in terms of the art edition. This is going to be the first time you get to see this book. You know, with no words. You're going to see it how it looked when I scanned it in. You know? Oh, pin past Master Dan's link. Yes. And oh yeah. How on earth do I do anything? Is a good question. Yes, indeed. How do I do this?
I hope.
Pin message.
I hope. It's off the
Exactly. Look at this too. The lighting and the trees and just the attention to detail. And this was new stuff. Watercolor gouache backgrounds. Incredible stuff. You know? And that's what I want. And this piece, I should say, guys, that you were seeing me work on. That piece is a piece that is going to be a print. If you back the art edition plus print, you're going to get the cover to Nosfero 2. Look at that woodwork in the background. Wow.
Yep.
That's extraordinary.
And all this, you think about all these characters just hand drawn, you know, somebody's hand was making those things happen, you know. Incredible.
Yes. I just realized
movement,
something.
you know, a movement
and
all that stuff.
Let me see if I can find this. I'm just going to see if I can catch this with my eye. Oh, there we go. Hang on a second, Dan. You hold down the fort. I'll be right back, guys. You know how it goes. Keep going. I'll be right back. Just got to grab this book.
There she is. Snow White. Yeah, she doesn't have that blush in this one. I wonder if this is a different cell.
Yeah, must have been. They have some stuff. I don't know if this is going to have it. Let's see. Hang on a second. So I was looking for books, and this is going to show you what it is about Nosfero, what it is about comics. Oh my gosh, look at that.
Look at that zit.
Yep. That's serious.
Yeah. You know, with all those powers, she couldn't. Well, no, actually, she wanted to look bad, didn't she?
Yeah.
Like
She wanted to trick her, you know? That's how it goes.
Yes.
So I got to switch to this real quick, Dan, because I just found this, and I'm going to have to get the lighting right, but let me see if I can do this here.
She didn't know that thing we've laced with fentanyl, that apple.
Yeah, to say it looks like that is putting it mildly. So this is a book that was released in Japan, and it was a Disney exhibition because, of course, we have a tendency not to celebrate our own artists very often. But this was an exhibition that was done of Walt Disney work. And let me adjust the gamma on this just a little bit, just so you guys can see it a little bit more. And what they did was they found Walt Disney. Look at that fireplace there. Walt Disney had sent some artwork to Japan, and they and then forgot they had sent it there. And I guess it was about 20 years ago. They go behind this furnace. And with water dripping on it, they find all these Sleeping Beauty original backgrounds, all this Disney art. Because Disney had donated to this college in Japan, and they had just put it somewhere. And so Disney said, if you guys will return the artwork, look at this Fantasia stuff.
Oh, wow.
Just the elegance of this.
Yeah.
And
whose color palette does that remind you of? Take a look. Bring that back.
Oh, yeah. Let me grab it. Whoops, I just missed it. Of course, as soon as I... Here you go. Boom.
That looks like some Nosfero color palettes.
You bet it does.
Yeah, that's great.
I love Arthur Rackham. I love all of that kind of stuff because I want to bring this stuff back. I mean, when I was recording the new audio fun intro for this, I went, why aren't we doing this? They had the step-by-step of how Ivan Durrell painted trees for Sleeping Beauty.
Really?
Look at this detail.
Wow. Uh-huh. That's all gouache, right? I'm sure it's all.
Yeah.
It's got to be all gouache. Yeah.
I think it's either gouache or acrylic. I'm not sure what he used, but I actually know.
Oh, I think it's. I'm sure it's gouache. You know, because that's what the old guys all used in advertising.
Look at this.
It's just you can apply it. It's much quicker for application than acrylic. You know, acrylic is a tough paint to handle, but the gouache goes down smooth and solid, and it reproduces well for when they're trying to, like, they did all those old ads, those car ads with using gouache and stuff.
It's incredible stuff, man. That's the stuff I get very excited about when I look at this, And Timmy says her story is very grisly, but from a horror perspective, she is virtually immortalized as a wicked, envious queen, basically the female version of Cronus, yes, or a vampiric take on Medusa Polisarts. Yes, absolutely right. And I think that's what why did that not happen? I want to go to, how do I do this? I went just to here. Is that it? There we go. And yeah, she is, as Dan is showing here, she is a character. So they're blending realism. Oh, the story of Elizabeth, Bathory, that is. Yes, gotcha. Just caught up. 100%. Yep. Vlad the Impaler has a better rep than her. Yeah, no kidding. That is a little terrifying. But yeah, I mean, when I was looking at all of this stuff and I was sitting down and going, all right, so for Nosfero, what do I want to bring to the table? It's the strangest thing. It's almost that feeling that you get when you look at those early watercolor background Disney animated films is an element of it that's important to me.
Yeah.
Cartooning is beautiful.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, now with the reproduction values, oh my goodness. I mean, you can, this piece you're showing here, I mean, that's the way it looks when it's printed. I mean, the colors were extraordinary. The paper, the inks, fantastic stuff.
I think that it's a very because I was talking to Eric Weathers before the launch, and we were talking about just Nosfero, and he's talked to me about the printing stuff and the print quality. But ever since I started doing books, starting with art books 1 and 2, job one for me was to try to get that sort of that art book print quality and to pay for that art book print quality. I use a company that really kind of specializes in that stuff to do all of my books, because if it doesn't look like how I painted it, and if people don't when people back my books, they're getting the whole point of doing it by hand and having it be painted is you get to feel that sensation of looking at paintings. And I think that's what makes the art edition so appealing to me, having launched that, is that I'm a big fan of spending time with artwork. I love to see that stuff. And, for people who read this book, when you see, like, when all the text lifts off the page, you're going to see parts of the paintings that you did not see. You're going to see all of these elements visually of how it comes together. And it's just a wonderful, book to have around to flip through and look at the artwork. I know I'm excited about it. Even I've never done one before. I've done the rarest book that I've done, Dan, is a book called is the second art book, and that's in the highest tier because there are only 10 of those left for me to sell. Yeah, and that is
now on your campaign. How are you labeling it very clearly that no words, kind of like make sure people aren't buying this?
Oh yeah,
art only. Okay,
but this
because I would think like someone getting book. Like, hey, where's the freaking words, man?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, I blame Stephen Rockwood because he asked me to do this. So did Antoine Dennison. All of you great people did this, man. And I appreciate
looks so good.
But I mean, this is the stuff that people would see. This is my my first comic story that I ever did. Is a sequentialist story painted. This was my experiment before Nosfero. So these are some of the ones I was working on. Very Hammer horror inspired, and it has me just really playing around with the technique, but this is the rarest book. So many people got this book with the first campaign, before anyone really even kind of knew who I was, which is really shocking to me. But granted, I had a ton of help in Comicsgate with people getting out the word and saying, hey, check out Shanth's stuff, so my cup runneth over. But this book became very rare.
King Kong, he looks like he's Frankenstein Kong.
Yep, Franken Kong, man. I even have the I'm trying to see
what was that last one before that? 2 pages back. Right there.
This one? This is my Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. I think it's Hedorah.
This is the thing is this is why this is something that I don't think AI could ever do, because there's so much like a sort of abstract quality to this that it's just not what a computer can do.
When she's this character is slicing open. This is how crazy detailed this is. Where this little character, because I would just take a lot of runs at how crazy can I make it. this character is slicing open this smog pollution monster from Godzilla, and there's a whale skeleton falling out of it. And there's like a toilet seat and tires, very Jeff Darrow, and skeletons coming out of it.
Oh my gosh.
And
yeah, I can see it now.
And now it's like, but on every page opposite in my art books, there's 20 paintings in each one of my art books. In Nosfero, there are 33. It was a huge jump. But every page across the way is a full page 1-to-1 scale painting. So when you get this book, if you want to know, well, how big is this painting? You look to this page and you get a detail that's 1-to-1.
Mm-hmm.
So I made that decision because I wanted people who are art nerds like myself
these
to be
colors
able
are
to see
freaking
it.
awesome.
Yeah, these books are not, the paper is nuts.
Your work is AI safe. There's no way.
I hope so. You never know.
There's no way, because the decisions are so abstract in a lot of ways. You know, there's abstract color putting. I see a hand, all of a sudden you got blue on it. Well, that decision cannot be made by a computer. There's no such thing.
Computers are smarter than that, Dan. They're not going to do this stuff. But it's and Mark's Music Obsession. I see you in the chat, man. You are going to have this book. These are all 8.5 by 11 books. And when people wondering about this, the paper stock of my pages is like comic book paper stock. It's the cover paper stock. And actually maybe even heavier than magazine cover, like glossy magazine paper stock. These are substantial books.
It sounds like sheet metal when you shake it.
It's if you look at the covers of my book are like a card stock. Oops, can't show that completely. But the pages are like what most people use for cover stock. It's really heavyweight paper in this book because I wanted it to be the same quality of my art books, which this is obviously. But when I look at this, I wanted people who get Nosfero art books, all of the art editions, to take these square-bound books, slide them into their bookshelf, and go, okay, these are my Shanth books. These are my Shanth collections. You know, and that's the thing I love, man. It's just too crazy. Sorry, Dan, think you're mistaken. All you would need to do is train the agent on Shanth's art. Yes, that's right. Yeah, probably would. Yeah.
No, because it's good for. It has to take. Well, it would. I don't know. There's too many weird decisions in it that you kind of like. You know, human decisions. Whereas AI is good for doing like a realistic image. Like it just takes it, but it's actually taking someone else's art. By the way, I'm waiting for the lawsuit on that. I mean, it's got to be sooner or later. Someone's got to start suing because they're stealing parts of other people's paintings. I think my opinion is you own your data. If you create something and you put it out there, that's your data. You know, your copyrighted data. And if someone's taking that data, using it, you know, because they're not changing the data that they bring into they're mixing, they're putting together with other data, and it makes an image. But that data is uncorrupted. You know, it's not like they're doing something to your data. They're using it, putting it together with another bit of data, but it's not changed. They're altered. You know.
Yeah, Random is saying there already are some lawsuits, but the thing also that I wanted to add is that there's this other element of it that I think people are kind of missing. There's something about and we see this a lot in culture right now, that people are they don't want anyone going out of their way to offend them, but they also don't want anybody going out of their way to fake that they agree with them. And there's this weird feeling that Bancroft always used to say this, he says it a lot, which is don't lie on YouTube, because if you're lying on YouTube and if you get successful for being a character, once that mask slips off, people are going to know it. People are going to see it, and they're going to say, wait a second, you were this all this time before. And I think it's the same thing with art. People don't want to know that they could be true or not. They don't want to think that a machine is able to meet all of their needs. Like, it's the same thing. You call a pharmacy, even if it's efficient, and you get nothing but, press 1 for this, press 2 for that. Yeah. At a certain point, you're just like, can I talk to a person?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I've heard that they've done tests like that where they created super realistic people, and in every single case, the human can figure it out fairly quickly that they're not talking to a person.
Yeah,
You know,
we can't even do it
so
visually,
they
man.
just kind of know that there's a sense of humanity that doesn't quite come through yet with the computer. And that's what I noticed with all the AI art. It looks fantastic in some cases, but you can just see it doesn't have a soul to it. You know, it's
And I
missing
think that's
something.
why, for me, I don't. And I remember when I did the Visions piece that's going to be in the Nosfero second printing. I'm going to have that double page spread in there. But that was a thing that John said that was really great to me, because John likes to keep things under wraps. He likes to keep things secret. But when he commissioned me to do a painting of one of my characters for a double page spread for the Godlike Visions book, he said, you can paint it on stream. I think painting on stream and showing the process, people have watched this book be made on YouTube. You can go back and watch it. I just crossed 500 uploads on YouTube.
Oh, sorry, can you hear that?
Yeah, a little bit. What is that?
Hang
It sounds like a car, but I'm wondering if it's if it's a phone. It's his ringtone. But you know, it's people have watched me do this stuff, and they've watched me make this book, and they've had conversations with me. I think that stuff is important. You know,
It was
I
a
think it's
massive
really
construction
important.
vehicle.
Oh,
One time.
I know that one, man. I live on a main road. Yeah, and Timmy Mello, thank you so much. It's the tone of these bots. You can't imitate the soul, indeed. And thank you, Mark's Music Obsession. I see those custom emojis in the chat, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean it's wild, because when I look back at all of the backers who backed this book with its first printing, and people were just going, man, I'd love to be able to just flip through the artwork, and I'd love to be, or oh man, worst case scenario, you know, or best case scenario, I missed the book. You know, how can I get this? I want to make stuff that is sort of timeless and sort of you know, evergreen as much as I can, and I think that people appreciate, and I guess I should say, I've had it demonstrated, and it's overwhelming how much people appreciate hand-done labor. There's a reason, you know, Snow White's a classic. There's a reason why we appreciate, you know, the quality of artwork that we see, and the reason why people are still citing comic stories, a lot of them done by folks in Comicsgate, that really meant something to them. You know, things that were just created by human imagination. And that's the great.
Yeah, I just noticed on this eCam that you have the light and dark mode, which is great. I don't know why StreamYard doesn't offer that, because you know I like, see me. I'm getting hit with this kind of white, kind of pasty light. Take it off, boom, it's gone. You know.
Oh, eCam is, so here's the reason why I use eCam. There's some things that it obviously does not do as well as StreamYard, like big, giant, you know, streams with tons of people. It's logistically a little bit tougher. But the resolution, because my streams are 99% solo, me working on my artwork, and that's what, you know, kind of built the channel. Everybody finds their own sort of groove. The resolution on StreamYard is never going out at 1080p. And this goes out at 1080p because it's coming straight from my computer. It's not going through StreamYard, then going back to YouTube. It's going straight to YouTube from me and straight to X from me. So I can do, and I can also, I have a whole bunch of sliders over here. So I can adjust the gamma in this and blow this thing out.
How many people can you have on?
I can have, well, it depends on what level I'm paying for, but I haven't maxed it out yet. I can have on quite a few. I have to take a moment here. I have to take a knee. I have to take a knee right now, man. This is madness. I don't know if you see this in the chat, my friends. I don't know if you see this in the chat, but my man, Gulati, man, just came in and dropped 50 Shanth Enjeti art memberships. Wow. That is a lot of paintbrushes. My God, brother. Thank you so much.
Fantastic.
He just comes in and makes it happen. So I got to send some cheerleaders your way. Here you go, my friend. My God. Charge! Another one.
Yeah.
Charge! These are going to be the longest credits I do for channel members on this next stream. Wow. Hail to you, brother.
The hot one. He gets the hot one.
Yes, he does. He gets her twice.
Not that the other two aren't attractive, but that one is just a little more smoking.
Said play that 48 more times. Let me do one more. Charge! Oh my God, it's craziness. You guys are amazing, and I'm seeing some really fantastic people here. getting gifted memberships, which is so cool to see. Well done, Pranvat. You have always done some amazing stuff here, popping in here, and I appreciate you, my friend. And
Hey,
I
see
go
the
ahead.
mute button here, but is there like in StreamYard it has a video I can turn off too? Is that here somewhere? I
Have a
don't see
what
it.
you can turn off?
A video like so I could when if you gotta go do something or whatever, you can turn off the audio
Turn
and
off
video.
the camera. I think it does, actually. I think it does. Oh, wait, hold on. You're missing. I just realized I'm on the wrong screen here. There you go.
Okay.
There should be. It might be drop down or something like that. Let me just double check. There's interview. I can mute the guest, so I can do that here. But you might be able to do that too.
I can do the muting. I'm saying I see a mute button, I see a hang up button, but I don't see a video button where I can just turn off the video.
Oh, there might be a way to do it. I'm not exactly sure. But if you mute, I can actually, remove you from the thing. I can take.
Yeah, I know that.
Too.
Right.
But I'm not sure.
But I'd like to
weird.
control because.
Well, let's see if is there a settings thing
down
there?
Let me scratch my. I got to pick my nose or something.
Well, you might. I think there might be something, but I'm not sure what it is. Yeah, crazy generous, absolutely. Pranvat is unbelievably generous. Let me get to these comments because I'm just seeing walls of, gifted a membership. JWK Creates, it's great to see you, my friend. How are you doing? Hello, Shanth and Lawless, says Green Laser. It's great to see you, Green Laser. My gosh, look at all these people. Paulus Arts. Oh my gosh, you guys are absolutely nuts. What on earth? What is this? This is not more, is it? You have got
Stephen
to
Rockwell
be kidding
know I
me.
wasn't wearing pants. Yeah.
What if
I gotta get up and get something and I got.
Okay, so wait, I gotta take a moment here. So Pranvat Gulati just gifted another 50 memberships.
Whoa.
This is insanity. This is madness. I don't think I have enough channel members for all these memberships. Oh my god, I do, but holy cow. Alright, we gotta get some more cheerleaders going this way, Dan. Hang on.
Okay, that was the hot one. Now give the other two. They're still good looking.
I'll see if I can. I love that you're like, here you go. One of them is the same, so it's not that bad.
Just the other one has the midriff. That's the difference. Yeah, I think.
You're just not. Yeah, you're just not. She doesn't do it for you. Holy cow! So we've got about 100 new members right now. In this space. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yep. You are a maniac, my friend. Where is it? I just saw your comment here. Just trash cast it up. That's right, man.
Actually, amazing. I'm not totally familiar about memberships and how that works. What does that mean when someone offers a membership?
So a membership allows you to get custom emojis and members only posts and things like that. And you get to recognize these folks when they come into the chat. But it's just a way for people to support your channel and support the stuff that you're doing. And so if you get to the point where you're monetized, you then can offer channel memberships and you can create custom emojis. And on my channel, the best thing that I like to do about it is you're in the credits.
So when they offer you a membership, they're allowing other people to take those memberships, or what?
Yes.
What is that?
Yeah, when they donate 50 memberships, that means that anyone who has memberships turned on, like to receive them, can get gifted a membership. So all of a sudden you come back and you get the custom emojis for a month. It's incredible. Okay. So you get your name in the credits for a month. It's just wild. So thank you so much. Look at all these people are just thrilled to be finding out. Wow, I'm at work, but popping in to say thanks for the membership. Congrats to the new members and to Sean. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, guys. Yes, I've been promoted to Patron of the Arts. 100%, man. Pranvat has been absolutely promoted to Patron of the Arts. JWK Creates. It just keeps rolling. Amen. Look at all these people getting memberships. That's what's so cool about it. Metal Movies and Brewskis. I love seeing it. Look at all you guys. I can't even find the...
Pranvat, are you in the United States? Or
I think he's in India, so it's late there if I'm not mistaken. I think it's either late or I'm not exactly sure. Oh my gosh. So a membership is $5 a month. YouTube takes $150 and the channel owner gets $3.50 for each member a month, 100%. And it goes straight in to brushes and paints and things. to make this show better. So I thank you so much, Shri. Much appreciated. Thank you for
What is
support.
what is your brush of choice? What do you like?
Oh, my brush of choice at the moment is not a wildly expensive brush, but it's a Princeton Summit Round Aqua Elite, and it can do acrylics and gouache, and I trash my brushes with acrylics.
It's got a hardy bristle then.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And it can hold.
Yeah, because now are you using gouache or acrylic?
I'm using gouache right now, so I go back and forth. But this piece is going to be all gouache because you guys have been really guiding it. To be honest.
Yeah. So you could use a Winsor & Newton on this, obviously, if you wanted to, which is
absolutely
expensive brushes. Those are really expensive.
Yeah, I've thought about getting one for years. Everybody tells me, oh, you should get one of those, and so I could, but I do things that, how do I put this? I do things where I will switch to acrylic sometimes, and you just don't want to be switching to acrylic with a nice brush ever. It'll just, wreck it. So I kind of just keep things fast and loose with this.
The Winsor & Newtons are mainly the best for inking,
Yep.
indie ink and stuff like that. That's where you need a very fine, bristle for that and to get that right, to do really beautiful stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
I still can't believe look at something like Gary Martin does. You look at these things. He's freaking doing that with a brush. Like those.
Gary's nuts,
I don't understand it. It's like what do you call some sort of a freakish quality or something? How in the heck do you ink like that with all those straight lines? I was kind of heavy handed. That's why I like pencil. I'd use because I just kind of I'm too much of a barbarian for ink. I think I just don't have.
You know what's weird is
I got my meat hands. They're like they can't. They're not sensitive.
I think, Dan. I think the reason for that is if personally. Is that you're a painter. Like how you process things. And I really in your digitals, let me get to this chat right here. Random McRanderson channel member, thank you so much for your support. I've been messing with a Silver Atelier golden, Taklin quill, size 80 round, trying to use big brushes lately. Big brushes are really the key. I know that may sound contradictory, but they can hold so much more paint and media. And that's crazy. Yeah. Oh, he's in the Bollywood business, I think. So he's got a lot of money. Well, there you go. That must be what it is. And a lot of generosity. My God. And I
really
appreciate him so much
that.
for that.
Really.
Yeah, man.
It's just these people are coming and are trying to support people doing works. What can you say? It's like it's such a great thing, such a wonderful thing.
It is a great thing.
The partnership between this is what's so great. The partnership now between the artist and the readers is complete. It's seamless. They can go directly to you and say, "I like that. Make me that."
Yeah.
And you can decide, okay, I think I either can do it or I want to do that, and so it's a really wonderful, wonderful situation now. So it's so much better than it used to be. Oh my gosh, I wish I had this when I was a kid or when I was starting out in comics.
I was just laughing, guys. I love Aviator Surge. It's like Sean smokes weed to get the straight lines. I can't even imagine doing anything if that was the case. I just like sit back and watching either HD Trains or old Hammer horror movies, which is where I get my inspiration from. But yeah, I'm glad Gary does so much brush inking, because brush inking is really a skill. My brother Rocky Ballesteros, who I'm sure you've been on a stream with him before, really terrific guy, animator.
Just the other night. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. God, that day is a blur for me, dude.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been in a dryer tumbling for like the last 2 weeks. With, I was in Florida twice in the last 3 weeks.
Oh, that'll just travel around and takes it out of you.
It's craziness. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I haven't even checked in. It's like craziness here. Let me see what I've got going on here. See if we're getting any more. Nope, we're still stuck with 79. The next backer is going to be 80 backers. Is that right? Holy cow. So we're one away from 80 backers, and let me see if I can share this. There you guys go. If I move it over, let's see if this works. So the next backer on Nosfero the Crypt Walker will take us to 80 backers with 29 days left. Who has not backed the art edition yet or the second chance edition? If you have not done either one of those, guys, check out the campaign. See what is doing. There is so much. Let me make that a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. Let's go through it. So for those of you guys who haven't backed the campaign yet or who want to know more information about it, this right here is the art edition. This is the cover that's hand lettered, because I did hand letter the cover with Nosfero. So that's the painted logo right there going across. And every single page of this book is going to be the book with, gosh, I have so many people calling me now, is most of every single page of the book is going to be just the art. You're going to be able to see everything. This is kind of your making of, behind the scenes look at this project, and that's what you're going to be seeing. There's my little nod. That's Lovecraft's original drawing of Cthulhu that I painted down there, just to kind of show what that was like. And so that is one of your options. And if you back this book, no words on it. If you back the second printing, you will have words on it. And more importantly, the second printing of the book is going to have this. This is a sketch right here, but it's going to have a brand new painting on the title page. And if you back with a print, the art edition, you're going to get the first published. It's going to be printed in on a special print that comes with the print edition of the cover that I'm working on right now for Nosfero, Death Will Die. So for comparison's sake, here is the cover to Nosfero second edition, the oxidized edition. So I've got a nice little metal texture there that's also in the type. So I wanted to give it a little bit of a, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name, but the concept artist who did the Nautilus for Disney's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Harper Goff. It's going to have that kind of cool look to it, but then the text will be there. So you will get your chance to read the story. And of course, there is a tier where you can back both if you haven't yet. So there you go. And then, of course, we go into the story and we go into all of these things. And for those of you guys who would like to own an original, and of course, the first edition of the book is available. There's only 100 of those. Wow, 10 claimed. Another one was just claimed. You're going to get the first printing of this book. It was printed to 800 copies. And then, of course, as soon as you remove the ones that were not up to par for me to send out, you've got less than 800 copies of the first printing of Nosfero that have ever been printed. So if you back this book and you have a first printing of it, there are less than 1,000 in the world. There's less than 800 in the world. There may even be less than 700 in the world, depending on. So you have this book that is incredibly rare, and I found, which is why I also encourage second printings, it's my second art book that is the rarest art book. So sometimes it's that, I think this art edition and the second printing of Nosfero, the oxidized, which is going to have art in it that's not in the other books, might turn out to be my rarest. But rarer still, of course, the interior head sketch on the art edition, so that's available for only the art edition. And then, of course, bigger than that, the art edition and painted head sketch. There's only 10 of those available. That's an original painting on an 8.5 by 11 or 8 by 10. I think it's 8.5 by 11 though. A piece of illustration board. You can pick any monster, or if you want a character from Nosfero, and I will do a portrait of them. And with that, those things are the only originals that I have in circulation. So
hey, could you possibly paint in the book? Like, if the paper stock is heavy enough?
You can't really, because the paper stock is so good. It's water resistant, so I'd have to use acrylic, and then I'd worry it would chip off. But it's funny you should say that, because my brother, who was one of the colorists on The Shadow 1941, if I can find this here, where is it?
Let me see if I can find it.
He painted a gouache painting of The Shadow inside of his copy of The Shadow that he sent me. So if you know this book right here, The Shadow by Mike Kaluta, one of the colorists on it was my brother, Nick. And so he painted in the book for me and then circled all the pages he colored in this book.
Man. That's fantastic.
So that's my brother right there. He signed. He was working with Mark Chiarello and his friend John Wellington. Actually, he's friends with both those guys. And he wrote, "You, for Shanth, who likes this kind of thing." Because I embarrassed him because he's really shy. And he does not like to do that kind of thing. He does not like to do it. So, but let me go back to the campaign real quick here.
Would he ever come on your show?
No, too shy.
Okay,
way too shy. And I like to have my private friends. Like it's the same. Like the missus has popped on and said hello from time to time, which is great. But it's like with him, it's like he needs a break. Like my friends usually call me when they need introvert conversations. So this right here is the Crypt treasure trove, and here's the thing with this one. all of the first printings of my books, so that's Nosfero Book 1, which Dan has right there, ready to rock. Nosfero Book 1, and the two first art books, of which there's only 10 left of Rigor Mortrex, and then the art edition. All of these in this tier, you'll get every single book in this campaign, every single print I've ever done, every single trading card, and on top of that, you're going to get a head sketch, an inked head sketch in the signatory page of every one of the 4 first printings. So that's 4 head sketches inside of this pack, which is going to be nuts to do, and there's only 3 people who've got those yet, and there's only going to be 10 total ever. So yeah, that's how we do things here. This is not the same as Book 1. I know it has the same story in it.
You know,
but
I like the idea. I like the idea of that, like just doing like, you know, offering a higher price on something, but making like taking a book and really painting someone with, you know, like you know, spending some time and do some instead of just doing these quick, you know, remarks on stuff, just chucking it out, which is fine. That's kind of fun too.
Every drawing is original too. I don't have a template that I'm using. Not that, again, it's crazy because to me, I love getting however it comes. Like when I back a book or if I get a head sketch or something like that, I don't care. I'm just happy to have it. But this is me, like when I do warm-ups for what my head sketches will be. This is just a warm-up on toned paper.
That's what you look like?
Well, this is how I feel. Certainly, this is what my insides are like. But the thing about it is that this is like me 30% of the way, you know, just screwing around on something. But I do a painting of this scale. So we're talking about, you know, I don't know how big this thing is. But someone asked me the other day, they go, so is it a smaller head sketch on, you know, a bigger piece of paper? And I went, they're actually, yes, of course, you know, it fits on the paper, but they're actually fairly significant. Like, I just want to kind of see. If I ballpark this, I think this is about probably like 5.5 maybe, and it would go out larger than that. So it's a pretty substantial piece, and it's an original painting. Like, I invented for Lloyd Burton, who backed last time. You
just worth hundreds of dollars. Just in itself, it's worth hundreds of dollars, you know?
Yep. And there's not a lot of originals. You know, Kenneth Rocafort also, I know, doesn't sell his original pages or his original art, I think, in its entirety. But I wanted people who want to have an original piece of artwork to have that opportunity, and that's what I do on that campaign. And it's crazy because all 10 of those sold out last time, and the cool part about it is if you're hearing about it now, you're going to have to kind of, you know, you're getting an opportunity to jump in on this, because I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to do these, you know, in terms of as a tier, but I want to make sure that it's fun, because this is Comicsgate. I want the books that I make to be fun, and I want when you get them, you know, they're 8.5 by 11, and so what I mean by that is, maybe it's because I'm older, Dan, but I need more. I need to be.
You're not old. You're a kid, man.
Oh my gosh, man! I'm telling you what, man. Maybe it's them. We talked about this. Maybe it's that my kid's going off to college and all that stuff. But you know, I'm definitely feeling every bit of soon to be 48 right now, which is just like, I'm like, oh my god. You know, 18
nothing. I just turned 49. It's a piece of cake. Yeah, 48's a nut. 48's a cakewalk.
It's a cakewalk. You're right, Dan. What am I saying? You're right.
You're a young, hip lad, you know.
But this is the kind of detail I want to reproduce, man. And think about this. You own one of these. You know, if somebody said to me, hey, Shanth, I backed the head sketch. I know, you guys, I love past fashion. That's like babies. So my brother, who I was showing before his coloring work, is 63 now. Terrific dude. He's my best friend in the whole world, and he's always cracking up and poking fun at me. But if someone says to me, I bought back the head sketch, I want me a Frankenkong, this character I created for these books, that's all right. We'll do it. But the crazy thing about it is this isn't the original painting. This is the book. You know, like the book looks this good. And all of these books, I spend a lot of money. Yeah.
Now that's one of the things that's one of the things that is good about gouache, though. Gouache does reproduce well. And that's why they used it so much in magazine ads and stuff like that. It was because it has a very flat kind of finish to it, and so that takes light reflects off it well, with when you hit with the camera or the scanner or whatever you put it in. So that's why one of the reasons your books look so good, because the use of gouache, and acrylic's pretty good too, but but gouache is really good. You know?
Aviator search, the young ones cry the most about age. Past Master Dan, 63. Yep, amen. Yeah, I always tell people this, because my wife and I were talking about this. Hail, channel member Skeleton Core Comics. It is great to see you, my friend. Hey, now, I feel young, too. I'll only be 59 on September. Another September. My birthday's on September 2nd. Ethan's is on September 1st. I've met so many people who are September birthdays around this place. That's awesome. Wow, that's craziness. But yeah, the print quality on this book is astounding. It's just great print quality. And this company, I really work with them. They publish a lot of art books by people you might know who do, limited edition but higher end stuff. That's their specialty. And when I work on this stuff, they call me back and they go, Shanth, I don't feel like I might need you to adjust the files. I think you're not getting your middles in this enough. And I'm just taking out the originals and putting them next to my screen, next to my proofs. I did 2 proofs on this. And I'm like, spend the extra money. Give people a book that feels like you're looking at the originals.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? That's what, I love painting.
By the way, Past Master, I want to give him a tip. Now, if you have a hat like this, just turn it like this, and all of a sudden you look younger.
That's the key.
That's it. See, all of a sudden, I just took like 5 years off my age.
Yep.
So, plus I happen to actually hate the backwards hat. Whenever I see a person wearing them backwards, I hate it so much that I thought this is my plan. Because I was actually walking with my wife the other day, and there was some young kids, and they're all out there playing and stuff, young like teens kind of. And I said, and she goes, "You have your hat on backwards." And I said, "Yeah, this is the plan. I want to go past them and show them that it's really uncool. I want to completely ruin it for them, so they'll be like, oh, I don't want to wear my hat backwards like that old fart, So this is the plan, and I'm wearing it on screen here, so young people look and go, God awful, no way, no, never again, And then I don't have to look at the backwards hat. See,
exactly. See, that's the key.
What do you think of that plan? I mean, that's a pretty good plan, right?
I think it's a great plan, man. Gen X Catholic, I really appreciate this. I immediately felt like my copy of Nosfero was a one-of-a-kind treasure. Thank you so much, man. I pack these things with love. I paint them and illustrate them. And this Second Chance campaign is just a way for me anyway to share the art with those of you guys who are passionate.
I might have to shut the window here. Hang on a second.
Okay, go for it, brother. So, and let me see here. Yeah, Dan's top tips for youth. Here's another one. My wife's birthday is in September, says Past Master Dan. See, we got tons of September birthdays here. So here's what happened with me. I was trying to make my kids laugh on the trip. And I always will try to do when we went on vacation. So I always try to do something funny for them. And I was wearing a baseball cap. And I said, I'm going to get a vacation hat. And I rocked this on the trip. And then I started doing a dance to make my kids laugh, where I called Fat Dad in a Hat.
I like that hat, but I guarantee it doesn't fit my head. No hat ever fits my head.
I was dying laughing, man, because I'm like one of those folks where it's like I've been wearing the same thing. Like when you see this this cap I'm wearing right now, I was wearing one of these freshman year when I was in school and when I was in Chattanooga because there was a movie that came out by Tank Girl with artwork by Jamie Hewlett, who's just a really crazy British artist. And I saw one of these caps and had one of his drawings on it, and I grabbed it and I was like, okay, I'm gonna wear this thing. And then I got into Jimmy Cagney and all of that stuff. But I mean, I pretty much wear, most of the stuff I wear when I was a kid. Like I don't have a lot of changing. My daughter says everything's always black, gray, or dark blue. I don't mix things up. So to get that hat was great for cracking people up. No, it's not pandering. There we go.
I'm looking at your painting here on the desk, and I can with your book I can see now the lamp and it's shiny and stuff. Now that's what's interesting about acrylic. It's a flat light, so it's you can it's great for working on stream because it looks so good.
That's the key.
It reproduces on camera as well as reproduces for print. It's amazing.
And that's why when I print these books, I forget what the name of this is. It's not gloss. But it's coated, obviously, but it's not gloss. It's a particular kind of paper so that you get that feel on the interior. You can get a reflection on it. It's very sturdy paper. But
what's good about reflective paper is the blacks are blacker.
Yes.
But if it's too reflective, then you start getting really it's shining in your eyes.
And
So,
there's my
yeah.
nod to Coach, man.
And
right
that's what's
there.
important when you have a solid black, that pops your colors better. So that's why I don't always love too flat of paper.
Yes.
Just to give me a little bit of gloss to make those blacks real black, you know?
Yep, absolutely. I think that's the fun thing about what we do here is, for so long I've been showing the book, I've been working on stream, I've been fulfilling, and people haven't been able to get, the book. I haven't had anything to really sell. And I really wanted to get this taken care of so everybody is caught up, because we're going to start talking about very, very soon. We're going to start talking about book 2, and we're going to start talking about what the story is going to be in this book. But I want to make sure people have a chance to read it and really get to see what is happening in this story. Because this story is, if you like Lovecraft, and if you like R.E. Howard's Solomon Kane, and you like just really cool drawings and vampires and Nosferatu, this book is got to be a visual feast for you. That was the plan. That was what I wanted to do with it. So that's the goal, and that's what I love about doing this project and doing this work. And being in Comicsgate, it's possible here.
Oh, by the way, did you see the other day I was on Aaron's show and he had misspelled my name? Like,
oh my God, yeah, with Lawless, right? Everybody wants to call you Lawless.
So Green Laser was saying here, Dan, keep sending Aaron emails about your name on his title page to mess with him and see if he fixes it yet.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Have you changed it yet? You know what I really should do is I tell him that I've decided finally, because everyone's messing up my name. I've decided to change my name. So he'll go to print and I'll change my name to LESS.
Yeah, well, listen, man, not everybody is blessed with the greatest name ever.
Leave it as is. I should hey, don't worry about changing it now. After he's like gone to print, like, don't worry about changing it now. I just decided to change my name. He'd be tearing out his hair.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, I started this this is the coolest thing about it. Like and I don't know what, like, I think it was Ethan or who was joking about, like, am I going out of my way to make, name a book that's something difficult to pronounce, like my name, like it's hilarious. And I just, well, maybe it's not intentional, but I love the idea. I always think about it this way, is I love the idea of, and the madness of a book coming out called Dracula. Like, what does it mean? Think about it. Like, before you knew what that book was, but now everybody knows what Dracula is.
Yeah.
Everybody, like, and I'm not saying that it's on that level, but I loved, the fact that when I look at stories and I look at things, there's different kinds of genres. And Solomon Kane, what's it mean? Conan, right? Not, it's like, it's a name.
Yep.
It exists. But Conan is the thing. And I love that kind of, like, suspend your disbelief, fall into the story.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I was a reader of Conan. I love Conan stuff before I realized Conan's an actual name that people have.
Yeah.
Like Conan
Absolutely
O'Brien.
right.
So I think it's is it Irish or something? I think.
Dangerous Dan Lawless. Yeah, I think it is. Well, because obviously Conan O'Brien has it, so it must be. And it's the same thing with naming the characters. Like, every other character kind of has an easier name, but the werewolf who goes by Greylock in this book is his name is actually let me see if I can show it on stream here, if I can find the page.
By the way, Green Laser asked if I did I marry Lucy Lawless and take her name.
You did.
No, but
the answer is yes.
I'm not against it.
Can we start the rumor? The answer is yes. Dan is married to Lucy Lawless. See, settled. We fixed it. So yes. Here you go. It's I am Fenrir Malin. There is the name of his character, but Nosfero calls him Greylock, and everybody calls him Greylock for all intents and purposes. And the reason why he is called Greylock is because when he was captured by the vampires, the werewolf, and was imprisoned, and Nosfero as a child was captured, they couldn't see. Well, he could see Nosfero, but he was in this cell that he was trapped in as he watched Nosfero suffer as he was suffering. And Nosfero, who couldn't see him, all he could see in that darkness was a little silver lock of hair. And so in his mind, he said, as I suffer, he's suffering with me so I can sustain. And he called him in his head Greylock, because he didn't know his name. And so those are the kinds of things that really connect people to a character. For me anyway, those are the connections that happen. So as a child, he called him Greylock. And so when he met him, it's almost like his nickname for him when he was a kid, and it goes deeper. And their relationship evolves as a result of that. And I just think that you know, my favorite book, how do I put this? My favorite book does change from time to time. I go through different places, but I'd have to say the book that distills everything I believe is important about, you know, story, art, and life is Dracula, hands down. That book is a masterpiece. And the character that I think is my favorite character in fiction, I just got the hardcover in the mail today off of eBay. This is my favorite character in fiction. Hands down.
He is a great character. Yeah, he's fantastic.
Can we talk about the painted cover too, artwork by Gary
NC
Gianni?
Wyeth.
That's Gary Gianni.
Oh, Gary Gianni. Gosh, it looks like NC Wyeth.
Doing Wyeth. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's totally inspired by Wyeth, and this stuff is sick. It feels like a time machine. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Well, what's inside that book? What is that? Just a cover? Did he do interiors?
This is the part. He did tons of black and white spot illustrations.
Oh, fantastic!
Gary Gianni's work. So it's the best
old
edition.
School kind of stuff.
Yep. Look at this.
Great.
This is Gary. It's like a time machine.
I love Gary's stuff. It's really great. I remember in Hellboy he did some. That's where I first discovered
Coils
his work.
of the Leviathan, right? Was that the one he did? Look at this.
I forget the name of it, but the stuff that he did. But it was really neat stuff. And Dark Horse. He worked with Dark Horse for a while.
Yeah, I mean, no. Solomon Kane is funny because Solomon Kane is a very, I like him. He's a very cold, in a good sense, you know, distant character. You get him. Yes, Gary Gianni. Isn't that incredible stuff? Art of Roy. I figure you'd love that stuff too. It's Nosfero.
Are you reading all these comments? There's a bunch here about your hat.
Oh yes, maybe I missed them. Way back. Let's see here. Old Gray Brush. Yep. Back Nosfero second chance. Yeah, guys, we are one away from having 80 backers. Who will be the hero? And let us know in the chat if you have. Yeah, Dangerous Dan Lost. Yes. Yeah, I saw those ones about the hat. They're great, man. Absolutely great.
See, I like the dangerous better than the dirty. People are saying dirty Dan Lost.
Well, you know, listen, dangerous is better.
I was totally getting roasted there today, which is a lot of fun, actually. I love it.
So, do you have the Marvel Omnibus of Solomon Kane? I don't yet. But another one of my clients and somebody who I just think was terrific. He's treated me very well, and I've had a good experience with him. Is Razor Fist, and Razor Fist, who did Ghost of the Badlands, a book I have right over here. He I
love those horses, man.
Dude,
horses are pain in the butt.
Yep. Bro. I'm a big fan of this British artist who worked at the turn of the century. Did a lot of war bonds kind of paintings, named Lucy Kemp Welsh, an incredible artist. But so I'm going through this book, right, and it's just a hell of a fun Western book what Razor Fist did, and he commissioned me to do a painting for the book, and I thought there'd be a lot of people doing paintings for this book, but it turned out that I got to be one of 3 people who did an illustration in this beautiful oversized edition of the book. So when you go, before you get to the bonus features, for any of you guys who backed this book, before you get to the bonus features...
Hey, do you have the... Green Lanter's asking, do you have the Marvel Omnibus of Solomon Kane?
No, I don't. I don't have it yet. And so,
I'd be
Razor Fist
that.
told me about it, So this is the painting you're seeing right here in Razor Fist's Ghost of the Badlands book. Right there, guys. So if you got this book, if you backed this book, I don't know if it's in the other editions. It probably is, but you never know. This painting was in the Indiegogo crowdfund for that. So yeah, I was really proud of how that came out. It looked really good. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that's what we're doing here, man. It's like just working and trying to make beautiful stuff. Dan, the surname is fine, but you did wear the Xena armor. Well, he may have worn the Xena armor. We don't know what Dan has worn.
I rest assured, I did. I would not be wearing.
You don't think you could
just
swing that?
Set the record straight. I am not a cross-dresser. That's just.
But as we bring this up, right, and as we talk about this kind of thing, you're gonna probably think, how do I bring this in for a landing, right? How do I bring this conversation in for a landing? When Dan was talking to me about the comic he's working on, and the ideas and the project as he's developing this thing, all I could think of is there better be a babe in that book, because people love the way you draw women. Now, does it have to be Xena? No. But if there's a lady in there, people will be thrilled, I
tell you what, there's not going to be is any ladies fighting in the battles and stuff like that.
There you go.
Because I don't believe that they very rarely could you have someone who, and this is sword and sorcery. This is swords and shields and stuff. So this is guy stuff all the way,
You know what's so funny about it is, though, and I was thinking about this the other day, have we ever had, think about this for a minute, have we ever had a problem with it? Last time I checked, it was guys who were obsessed with Lara Croft Tomb Raider. You know what I mean? It's just this new version, right? When it's a new version, because what they're doing with Lara Croft now is pissing off the hardcore fans of Lara Croft Tomb Raider, right? Like, Xena was big before they came along.
And what about Sigourney Weaver? And everybody loved the aliens.
Yeah,
she was
absolutely
badass,
right.
But she was still kind of feminine. She was kind of hot,
Yes, she was.
And so,
yeah.
I mean,
here we go. So a
those...
lot of the omnibus, says Green Laser, and thank you for being a channel member, is in black and white from magazines. Oh my God, that sounds fantastic. And Randy McRanderson says, I collect old magazines and art books. I wonder 50 years from now if people will know what the @ symbols, after the names mean. Agreed. It's going to be like Blue Coal, that company and all of the pulps. There you go.
Sarah Connor in Terminator. I mean, I'm trying to think of like there was tough girls in these 80s movies and stuff. You can do a tough girl if you want,
You can do. It's just
but
make.
You can also do a girl
cool.
who's screaming help.
But you
nothing
remember,
wrong with that.
like back in the day, right? With the X-Men, there were so many cool characters in the X-Men, and you never really thought about it, outside of that. People thought Storm was badass. People thought all of these different characters were really cool. For me, for what I'm doing story-wise, these are very these are very male-centric in terms of the guy hero and the damsel in distress stories. There's no room for any of that in this book, because the stuff I'm referencing are the Hammer horror movies, all of that stuff. And I don't, that's, to me, it just doesn't work in this world. And I think it's also because it's, as you and I were talking, it's so rare. You know what I mean? That you see a damsel in distress, that you see a feminine female character.
Yeah. It used to be in the 80s. The 80s had it,
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah. And that's what the thing is, if you're writing for guys, these are male power fantasies. The whole idea of being a superhero is that girls like you, I mean, if you were Iron Man and you looked that good and you were smart, intelligent, brave, wealthy, all these, or same with Batman. He's wealthy, handsome, physically fit, all this stuff. Girls like that, and that's what guys aspire to be, the kind of guys that girls like, so.
Yes.
Not us, Sean.
Well, I think we did okay for ourselves, Dan.
I'm just kidding. We did fine.
No, I'm saying, but let's just be real, right? Like it's we know when we're doing this stuff that what people respond to, and I'd say this: guys are a pretty meritocracy based group. You know what I mean? Guys are a pretty meritocracy based group. If you see an illustrator or an artist who's an incredible painter, you don't care. We don't have a metric. How do I put it? There's so few people with high level skill in the world. We don't have time to start losing people for abstract or whatever, racial, religious, whatever reasons, because there's not a lot of us. There has to be a grave breach for us to go get out of here. And it's the same thing with comics. Comics has not actively been trying to keep women out. We've been actively trying to keep them in, and they keep running. So when that narrative cropped up, it was almost laughable. you know, and to create a place where, you know, the age range and the folks who are collecting this stuff come from almost every single background, and they come from everywhere, is what excites me the most. And welcome, Wishmaster. It is great to see you. Welcome, Mechanoid. And it is great to see you, my friend. It didn't click on you here. Let's see here. Oh, yes. Ripley fighting Xeno Queen to protect Newt was absolutely, and it was totally believable because of the maternal instinct. You're absolutely right.
Yes, very much so. That was great. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. And then
And the way she
Random
talks to Newt.
Anderson is saying, he remembers the first time he saw Mohawk Storm and he loved that shit. Yeah, because she was still attractive. You know, she was still.
She was a punk, and she was awesome.
It's not that men don't like strong women. It's you know, that's fine too, but they still got to be attractive. It's I always say comics are about what men want to be or what men want to have. So either you want to you fantasize about being a superhero, but if it's a woman, like, so that's why she works, because that's the kind of guy that guys would like. It's not that men are not against strong women at all. It's bullshit. But sometimes, you know, it's, you want to be. The reality is men are physically stronger where there's physical tasks at hand.
And you don't want, and you never want to be in a situation where nobody finds weakness, like, and I mean real weakness, to be attractive. You know what I mean? It's right. You don't want to have somebody who's falling apart all the time. You know, and that goes for men and women. Now, how that strength inflection works is different. But you know, if a character is utterly useless, or a person is utterly useless, people will have a disdain for that. Snow White is basically presenting these characters, at least certainly in the Disney version, with something and someone worth fighting for. At the end of a long, hard day's work, they're like, oh, wow, look, she made this place livable. That takes strength and discipline to do that, you know? Yeah.
Well, I think this is why, too, that the lesbian stuff or the gay stuff is not, guys aren't interested in that. It's not that they are against, against gay people, but it's like same thing. Like, why don't you see grandmas in superheroes? Grandma superheroes. Is it men don't love their grandmothers? No, they just don't want to be a grandma, or you don't see mom superheroes or baby superheroes, because you go up to a guy, you want to be a mom, you want to be a baby, are you a baby? Go up to the bar and say you're a baby or somebody. You get your your teeth knocked out. It's like men want to be men want to be masculine, and so I say it's about what they want to be and what they want to have. So, but if you throw in gay characters, it's not that people are necessarily anti-gay. It's just that they don't want to be gay. It's like that's not their fantasy. These are fantasies, and that's what I
think there's another aspect of it too, right? Where I never thought about the fact. I certainly thought about that kiss he had with Leia when we got to the end and we realized their relationship, but I never really thought about Luke's journey involving him marrying, having a family. I've never thought about Wolverine having any kind of relationship. Like, Wolverine is just Wolverine. He's got blades for claws. What more do you want? Do you get what I mean? Right. So it's not every character is necessarily going to be about relationships. Nosfero has a little bit of that, but if people are looking at Greylock and going, I wonder if he's ever going to settle down. I mean, he's a werewolf. You know what I mean? He's there to kick ass. Like, that's what his job is. He's like this. He's, in a lot of ways, Greylock is my Wolverine. It's like being raised by Logan. It's what Greylock is.
Remember when they implied that Wolverine and Cyclops were a couple of sorts? They were trying
That'd be a weird couple too.
They're pushing it in. They were trying to push it for a while. It's like no guy wants that. That's not their fantasy. Now they did also push Wolverine and I think Jean Grey having a little relationship there, and that was or they also did the Wolverine as a fatherly figure to Jubilee, and that was also kind of a positive, good thing. So, and those are all things that guys want to be. They want to be the man. They want to win the girl, and they want to be fathers too. So I mean, a good man does. So.
Well, and Mechanoid just has this. I have to address this. Last of the Mohicans is one of my top 10 favorite movies. Before this stream, I started learning the violin for a year. Took time off because I was doing all this stuff, but I've been practicing playing the music from that. This character right here, this scene where she's holding the flintlock, is inspired by a moment with Madeline Stowe holding out a flintlock and shooting it at camera when she's trying to escape, and Daniel Day-Lewis is coming to rescue her. So this is 100%, like, if someone were to say to me, what is this character like, I would say Hawkeye in Michael Mann's Last of the Mohicans. And I love that story in that book so much. I have the N.C. Wyeth edition of it over there with his illustrations in it. I have 2 copies of that. Love N.C. Wyeth. Well, you know, you don't have to sleep, horny hand grenades, you know? I mean, but you have back. Tammy! I was just talking about you and singing your praises. It's great to see you. So, yeah, I love that movie. Madeline Stowe is just a vision in that movie. She is just fantastic, you know? And she's strong-willed. She knows what she wants to do, but she's also unbelievably feminine, unbelievably interesting. And her and Daniel Day-Lewis had a great chemistry. You know?
Yeah, I'm just looking up Lucy Lawless. I think she looks pretty good still.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
She's no, I'm saying, but sometimes they don't age well. No, I see a picture of 2023. She looks fine. She's in good shape. Because she kind of looks like one of those women that might kind of, you know, get a little bigger, you know. And,
yeah, maybe.
And she is not. She looks pretty good. Now, is she actually a lesbian in real life or something? Or
no.
Thank God. I mean,
I think she's married, or I believe she has kids. I'm not positive. Someone can find that out for me. But like a lot of people, I mean, you don't really see a lot or hear much about Daniel Day-Lewis's wife. I mean, he has one, but he's smart enough to go, you know, let's keep her out of this insanity. Even he keeps himself out of the insanity. You don't see him out partying. Right. He goes into this cave between movies. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, well, exactly. That's why you see how good my cover is right now. I'm pretending I don't even know Lucy Lawless, and you know, my wife. You know,
who is this?
Because there are a couple of people who have figured it out in the chat. They like this is really an unusual name, and you're into fantasy, and you like that sword and sorcery stuff, and so now they've figured it out. But I'm deflecting. See, who is this? What's she look like today? You know, that's pretty good deflection. You know.
Hail, awesome one. It's great to see you. Yeah, it's very difficult to hide something of that magnitude. Do you know what I mean? It's very difficult to hide something of that magnitude.
So far, it's been good until the dang chat here. Just
they're trying to.
Whose fault is this? Whose fault is this? Is it Green Laser? Who did that? Who outed me as the husband of Lucy Lawless? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like it's everywhere right now. Wolverine had 3 girls that were almost daughters, Jubilee, Shadowcat, and Amiko. Yes, absolutely right. Yeah, Lawless is her husband's name. There you go. Her maiden name was Ryan. Well, she married up in terms of last names. Oh, she's married to the Spider-Man director, Raimi, isn't she? Oh, I didn't know that. It seems like she's married to someone named Lawless.
Roy, thank you for covering for me. Thank you for, this is, you know, you're helping out a great deal. Because we did not want that to get out, that you know, my wife's name. So
it's going to hit the tablet.
Lucy.
Green Lasers is cracking up, man. Yeah, you got to do it. You absolutely got to do it, man. But yeah, I mean, I think so. Dan, tell me about what you're working on and what, like, so you're in the writing phase still on your project, right? I mean,
no, I'm
brainstorming, sketching.
No, I wrote it years ago now, really, and then I sketched it out, you know, months ago. But I'm going to finish on the art, and I've done the first 3 pages, 4 times.
Wow.
Because I kept drawing and then I'm like, that's not good enough. Gone. I mean, we're talking full blown, you know, drawings, 2-page spread, all this stuff. And I just said, nope, it's not there. And then finally, like lately, I've got it. I got something I like. But it's just like, that's how it is for me. It's like, it's got to be really, it's hard to describe it. And you'll know this. It's got to have a soul. When you draw something and it's like, it's coming, the next day, you still like it, you know, because I've done that where this would happen. I drew it. I thought, that's pretty good. A couple days later, I'm like, nah, it's not working. It's not. It's not there yet. It's got to be better, you know. So I can tell when I draw something, and it's great. It's really, and I shouldn't say it's great, but that's subjective. But the next day, if it's still like I still think it's great, then I got it. That's like it survived. It survived the night. You ever the night test? You draw something, and the next day, like at night, you're like, "This is great! Wow, this is wonderful." Next day, I'm like, "What the hell was I thinking? This is a piece of shit."
Well, that's the craziest thing about all this stuff that we do in CG, and why I'm so excited about this project, or at least this campaign. What makes this so much nicer is, once you've done all of the, I was trying to figure out which way to turn the light off there. Once you've done all of the work, you've done all of the pages, there's this relief. Like even working on book 2, getting the book resolved, drawing it, illustrating it, telling that first story so you can then start moving it forward is one of the things that is so tricky to do when you're the person behind it. You know what I mean? It's like, this is my fourth campaign that I've done, but it's still the first book. So as I write on book 2, now I know these characters and I know what's happening. Like book 2 is nuts. So that's the thing. Thank you, Awesome One, for posting the link, guys. Yes, indeed. I need your support. I appreciate your support on the Second Chance campaign and actually I should say the First Chance campaign for the art-only edition, and the Second Chance campaign to get Nosfero, the story, and the artwork. There you go. How's it going, says Jerry W. Creative Past Master Dan. Everybody saying hello. Laud Last. There you go. Yeah, look at all this. People just
They're still going.
Enjoying themselves, man. That's how it goes.
Hey, I've noticed that when I've gone on Ethan's show, he's never played the intro that you made for him, that you gave to him. Remember?
Which one was that?
The Danny Boy one.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I'm just wondering.
I think he has. I think he just forgot where it is.
Since he's not using it, why don't you just give it a whirl here? This is.
I don't know where it is though. I gotta see if I can figure out where it is.
Okay. For Art of Roy, which is I would say it's his fault. It's all his fault. So
there you go. I don't know where it is actually. I have to see if I can find it. I have because I have your intro for here.
Yeah.
Nope, it's not coming up. I might have it on somewhere where I have to download it first, but I'll definitely do it for next stream if I can't find it here.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't find it yet. Yeah, where the heck? Yeah, but you just made me realize that. That's so funny.
Because I've gone on streams and I don't know if he's got it or Ethan's got it or forgot about it or whatever.
Yeah, I'm just seeing the waffle one. Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Because I have a funny feeling that when that one goes, that's going to catch on. That one. Which is fine. I'm happy with it. It's I don't really care. Like if whatever the general public goes with, that's your name. It's like an Animal House where they name these guys and like you're Flounder. It's like Flounder, but you gotta just that's it. Like Narwhal got his name. Like that's your name now. It's like you've been declared by the chat. They tell you what you don't tell them what their name is. They tell what your name is.
Yeah, so. I'm gonna have to see if I can. Let me see if I can figure this out here. I'm gonna see if I can make this work. It's gonna probably start with cheerleader because I usually have to get these things, baked in here in terms of before I start the cake. But let's see if this works here. So I'm gonna go to the cheerleader one.
That's right, damn Skippy, you can't get with me. I run the whole track and leave you 3 laps back. It's Danny Boy. It's Danny Boy.
There you go, man. You like it?
Yeah, I love that one. I think it's fun, actually.
See? I'm telling you, man. I live for this stuff.
Yeah, you got a talent.
Oh, man. You got to do it, man. Because, when we were out there and Comicsgate was starting out, I mean, gosh, my history goes back to the last 2 Comicsgate Kings intros, and things like that. And Ethan saying, I need an intro. I've got this Ghostbuster Eminem song. I'm like, what the heck am I going to do with this? That was the wildest thing. But he sent me that message, and I was like, I'll figure that one out. And then when he wanted to do a new intro for Comicsgate, and then I found, of course, some beautiful Lemmy music, and I said, but it was Bow Down to the King. And so there's this one part where they sing the King of Kings. And I went, I'm going to take that S and I'm going to work it, like overlay it into the song so it says bow down to the kings instead of king. So that was just all trying to just get that little extra change in it. What's up, Collision Bomb? How are you doing? It's great to see you. I hope you are doing well. Guys, if you have not yet backed Nosfero the Crypt Walker Second Chance and Art Edition, we start out with and the type will be a little bit different, but you can get the $25 tier, and you can get the book with the text in it, and that's all she wrote. But if you have this book, and you're saying to yourself, I want to have this book with just the art, and I'll tell you, the artwork on the inside is just as lovely as the artwork on the cover. Yeah, there you go. Dan's got it right there, man. Danny Boy's got it. Danny Boy, the pipes are calling. You gotta love that, man. That's for you, dude. Make sure you back it. And yeah, great job, everybody, on those likes. I appreciate it. But this book doesn't move. We are stuck at 79 backers right now. We have not moved to 80 yet. So if we do, somebody let me know. Somebody in the chat, back away. I don't mean back away from this chat. I mean back the campaign is what I mean. So yeah, Tammy, I cannot wait. I'm actually reboxing yours right now. I was doing that today because I just got back from Florida. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Tammy's like, I'll back it. Tammy, I gotta get you all your books, Tammy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we had, I know some of you guys had changes of addresses that weren't updated, so I'm going to be getting those back out. I'm reaching out to everybody individually. There's like 4 or 5 of those, where every campaign, you get stuff back, but that's a pretty good average for a campaign. So thank you guys so much for supporting this book. And yeah, do let us know when we hit 80 backers. I appreciate it, guys. But man, Dan, I will say this. I don't know. I would like to find the stream. I have now 500 videos. And yeah, dude, check out this awesome other stuff too. Joe Frankenstein, of course, by my fellow monster kid, Graham Nolan. Now, Graham Nolan...
I'm enjoying that.
Can rock one of these hats. I can't. I look like I'm the guy in Dodson in Jurassic Park. What are you supposed to be? Some kind of secret agent? But it did make my daughter laugh when she was preemptively thinking about missing her twin for the first time in her life. Because that twin stuff is tough, man, when they go their separate ways.
Oh,
I still remember. Sorry, I don't want to get off on this tangent, guys. Welcome, Crenshaw.
Interesting.
It's great to see you. But there's this moment when you wake up in the morning and you see those 2 kids in the crib bouncing together in the crib with their hands on the rail every morning, and they've had that with each other. Like, they would make sounds at each other communicating in their own language when they were little. And
that twin thing,
tough.
fascinating. It's fascinating.
Yep. It's a lot, man. And we didn't have any twins in our immediate family, so we were shocked completely by it. And yeah, we got Dotson. We got Dotson here. Still remember that.
I always thought it'd be kind of cool to have a twin brother so I could fight with him. We'd be totally evenly matched, and we could box like in
Collision Bomb saying here, and I have no reason to doubt that we have hit 80 backers. So we're gonna do a refresh here, and let's see how we do. That was my Southern coming out, by the way. A refresh. Let's see what we got. Oh, 80
there
backers. There it is, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Collision Bomb. Thank you, everybody in the chat who has been backing. I appreciate you guys so much. I am very excited about this campaign. I can't tell you how much it means to me to see you guys backing this. Okay, Sean, number 80 is here. There you go. Thank you so much, Tammy. I appreciate it. We are here.
Got 80 backers, Sean?
80 backers up in here.
80 backers?
Yeah, we got 80 backers going on right here, son.
That's fine.
That's a fine thing. So, of course, we have to celebrate with...
we should bring in Rex Christensen sometime.
I really should, actually. I really should. Thank you, guys. You guys
Rex,
are awesome.
How's it going? This is Diane.
Here's the cheerleader. I had to get a little bit of it in there. I have to get a little bit of it in there, man.
Where did you find that music? What music? Who's that? Who's that?
I was looking for Danny Boy because I love that song, and then I went, someone's got to have remixed this, and then I found this song. It's the same thing with the Weatherman. Thank you, Tammy D. You don't feel 80. You are a lady if ever there was one, and thank you for backing this book. God bless you. I appreciate it so much. Yeah, twins are common on both sides of my family. My fourth great-grandparents had
Wait, who's
19
80?
kids.
Tammy's 80?
No, Tammy was joking. Backer number 80. Tammy is backer number
gosh.
80.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
thinking,
so
they can't
just
be 80.
threw us over there. Thank
There's
you,
no,
Mark.
There's no 80-year-old on this stream, is there?
No, I mean, honestly, they'd probably be going, what
We're
the
all
heck is
hip,
Sean
young
doing?
punks here,
That's exactly right. That's right.
we're the
Tammy's
kids.
like
We're
us.
the
She's
next
hip and
generation,
young, just like all of us are, right? That's what I love about it. But it's so cool though, because you guys are always awesome and incredibly supportive, and yeah, she's a spry 80, right? That's right. You guys are.
Hey, we're not against 80-year-olds being here. We love everybody, like at every age.
Well, that's absolutely true. The only thing I'm worried about when it comes to Tammy is her being down in Florida. The same thing I'm worried about with Mark. Those gators, folks, are getting bigger. I'm just telling you right now. The footage out of Florida, whenever I see we've captured a new gigantic gator. Oh, I thought I was 80. Okay, so I might be 81 backers? Collision bomb, what the heck? Let's take a look at this. Let's refresh and see what we got. Boom! 81 backers. You are right, Collision Bomb. Tammy and Collision Bomb bringing the thunder. 81
There we go.
backers. Wow. And I believe you. What's happening? Gosh, every time I click on something, it's like, do you want to ban this person? I'm like, no, I don't want to ban this person. I'm trying to show their comment. Yes, indeed. Yeah, the gators taste good. You know what? Have I had gator yet? I know they used to sell it when I was growing up in Chattanooga at our Riverbend Festival. So maybe I've had gator, but I'm not positive.
It seemed like it'd be a good meat. I mean, like a fish of sorts, right? I mean,
yep. My mom watches the streams, and she's 85. Shout out to Mark's Music Obsessions mom. God bless you. And my wife said to me, as Borat would say, said to me, she goes, I cannot wait to send Mark his books. Because we know the journey, Mark. We know the journey of you waiting for this campaign, man. Yeah, that's right. We might have collided, Collision. That's right. Random McGranderson saying they're fighting over number 80. It happens, right? It happens. Did somebody say cat fight? We've got two people fighting over it. Which one is actually 80? This is the only time you're going to see this. JWK creates Shanth gators are just big old swamp puppies. Sure. It's the crocs. You're right. Yeah, the crocs multiplying in the southern half of the state. You have to worry about. Yeah, they've got one there called Godzilla. What's this cheese? What's this cheese? That's right, exactly. Oh my gosh, I don't remember the Riverbend Festival when we lived in Chattanooga in 89 to 92. Well, it was definitely, I know it was there in 89 and 92, but it could have been, maybe they moved it. Was it when they were building the aquarium? Because I think I went to see Gloria Estefan there, or Estefan as we like to say. I saw
You shouldn't
James
say those
Brown.
things out loud.
Exactly, I shouldn't probably. James Brown, I saw perform there, which was formative.
That's better.
Congratulations on 80, Rocky Ballesteros said. My chat just told me, congratulations. Thank you, brother. You've been here with me for 30 years, this friendship. My
Rocky,
God.
How are you, man?
Oh, your mother is 92. Happy birthday to her, Tammy D. That's fantastic. Oh, my God. Oh, it's 92. You mean September 2nd? Oh, my gosh. You got to be kidding me. That is wild. You have to let me know. Is it September 2nd? Heavens to Betsy. Those things line up. It's crazy. Let's see. Yeah, aquarium wasn't there until after we moved back. So there you go. Yeah, so it wasn't there when I moved there. Yes, September 2nd. That's crazy. Wow. Love it. Yeah, Stevens. It means Stevens. That's right. Skeleton Core Comics. Shovel beats gators every time. Well, I saw a large recycling bin and a guy sliding a gator into it like a total hero and then just took it down to the water and dumped it. It's one of the greatest videos of all time.
Oh
Thank you guys so much for making this book what it is and for getting us to the point to where we're at 81 backers right now. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it.
Can you imagine the
so
recycle
much.
guy coming and like opening up that thing like, oh shit.
Art of Roy, by the way,
attack.
I imagine this in the most laconic cowboy voice right there. Had a gator. Didn't like it. It's got that kind of quality.
Didn't like it.
Didn't much care for it. It's just one of those things. Yeah, I love that, man. Yep, a couple of good bonks. That's right. There's a video game going around with a guy chasing a few dozen gators into the water with a shovel. Oh my God. Oh, a video going around. Sorry, not a video game. That would be interesting to see. But yeah, man, it's I really was glad because I love doing this work. I love painting. You know this. We love doing artwork. But when I took that trip with my family, one, getting to see my kids' sense of wonder seeing it, Art of Roy goes, no, sir, didn't like it. But going down there, there's very few times I get that inspiration directed at me. So going on the E.T. ride, because E.T. is one of my favorite movies of all time. Love that movie. It's weird. It's just where it hit me at my age. It's just one of those classics.
Yeah, that's a lot of it too when you hit it. Now I do like E.T. I think. Now, what do you think of Close Encounters? That's one of my favorites.
Close Encounters is a masterpiece. If someone said to me, you got to watch. You can only watch 2 Spielberg films, one at the start, one at the end of his career. Jaws would be so tempting, but I would have to say Close Encounters and Saving Private Ryan. Those would be the 2 movies that show.
Saving Private Ryan to me is one of the greatest movies ever made, but I can't watch it. It's too hard. It's too tough. I watched it. I watched it a couple times, and I just can't take it. Like, it's so awful. It's an important movie, great movie, but but it's just like, to see what these guys went through. That's a lot. Well,
this was the thing about it, right? So, and this is what I love about my kids. And it's weird. It's like always weird to talk about them because, we try to keep our kids out of the whatever. But I showed Saving Private Ryan to my son, and after it was done, he looked at me and he goes, "That was a great movie." He's like, "It was sad, but that was a great movie," and I loved that. And here's the crazy part about my daughter, and talk about a pretty impressive and amazing young lady. On her own on Netflix, she sought out, watched, and loved Hacksaw Ridge, directed by Mel Gibson, about the conscientious objector who is, Desmond Dawes, who goes into battle as a medic and saves all of these soldiers. And he's like, my faith won't allow me to pick up a firearm. And they say, you're a coward or whatever. And he goes in unarmed into enemy fire to rescue all of these people. And his story was only unearthed later, because he was very shy. He was a very humble guy. And Black Hawk Down is absolutely like that. Yeah. And
that was really rough to watch too. Yeah.
Those are tough ones, man. Yeah. Saving Private Ryan is a masterpiece. It should have gotten Best Picture. I think that's just a crime.
What about Cocoon? Random's asking about Cocoon.
Cocoon isn't bad. I haven't watched it in ages, though.
Yeah, I liked it. It's a good feel-good movie. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a Ron Howard, right? Is it?
Yeah.
Ron Howard. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about that. Art of Roy. Yeah, I mean, it's politics and all that stuff. It's never brings much to the work. Yeah, Predator is a much better movie than E.T. Agreed. Rocky almost done with his golden.
Did you see? Did you see when we drew? I was on Aaron's show and he was drawing the Aaron versus Predator versus aliens. But
yes.
No, he didn't. No one specified what kind of aliens. So he's got Predator going after E.T. with a spear.
And by the way, we always got to pour one out for my man Wilford Brimley, especially for his work in Hard Target and Quaker Oats, and also The Thing with John Carpenter. Diabetes. You got to shout out to Diabetes for Wilford. And then if you get a chance, The Highwaymen with Costner and Woody Harrelson is great. I think that a lot of people have opinions about the NBC, about that network. So I would like to take that network, get rid of everything on it, and have it stand for nothing but Costner. And it just plays Kevin Costner movies all day. Hear me out. Kevin Costner television shows just.
I saw The Highwaymen. I believe I liked it a lot. Yeah.
Barnes and James. Yeah, great flicks. Yeah, I'm kind of sad that an accomplished actor like Brimley became known for diabetes, but also for Quaker Oats. It's the right thing to do and a tasty way to do it, because Wilford Brimley, it's weird to see him in both The Thing and The Firm as, a character that gets taken over and one character that's a villain. Because he's such
what about
Tammy.
Postmaster? What about the Postmaster Central in Seinfeld? He was also that guy.
Yes. I love Wilford Brimley. Kevin Costner is just one of my heroes. I love Kevin Costner. Like, he's such a he strikes me as a very real person who means it when he does things. Like, come hell or high water, whether people love what he does or don't love what he does, he at the very least.
Wait, what was the one with the bootleg, the Untouchables?
Yes, The Untouchables. Yep.
Yeah, he was great in that, and of course, Sean Connery and stuff. It was fantastic.
I was watching that.
Well, I love that movie. The music in that is
Love it.
great too. The music is
Oh my God,
fantastic
yeah.
and Untouchables. Yeah.
Brian De Palma crushed it on that. One of my favorite Costner movies, and maybe it's age. Now We Dance and Celebrate Diabetes on our A1Cs. That's right. You're killing me. Oh my God. Past Master Dan, you got me again. Maybe it's my age. Maybe it's in terms of when I saw the movie, I just had identified with it more. But Kevin Costner's movie, one of my favorites, is Open Range with him and Robert Duvall. And fantastic in that. A great Western. Came out in 2003, I think. But yeah, him and Bobby Duvall in Open Range is one of the all-time great Westerns. Has one of the greatest shootouts I've ever seen. And Tammy, I'm thrilled that you met Kevin Costner. If I ever met Kevin Costner, I'd lose my mind. I'd just be like, you're amazing. And he would probably tase me. I imagine that's what would happen. But yeah, he kind of
looked like my Uncle Mike, to Kevin Costner. I remember.
Yes, I have, and he's great in that too. And thank you guys for posting Nosfero in the chat, guys. We're at 81 backers. I have a few goals. I am mistaken. It just rolled over. Who's the backer? Let me know who you guys are. Let me see here. Where is it? Okay, computer screen. We just rolled over to 82 backers. Amazing. No autograph from Kevin Costner. Yeah, I'd have to get one. I need an autograph from Kevin Costner. Yeah, all the commercials show people so excited. That's terrifying. Yes, indeed. And so as we hit 82 backers, I got to send a cheerleader out. Actually, you know what? I'm going to send the cheerleader out. I couldn't resist, Dan. I love it so much.
I do. I actually really
think
it's fun. It's a great song. I mean, it's a great, the Danny Boy song they made was really, really good. Like that version of it's very catchy and a lot of fun to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is I noticed in that thing, I look pretty blurry though.
Yeah, because you were small on screen and I had to zoom in and blow you up. If I ever, here's the thing about Ecamm. I don't know if you have another window open, but be careful so you don't have an echo. But actually, you've got headphones in. Open up another window, and depending on what the bandwidth is doing, look at the broadcast and look at the resolution and see what it says for resolution. You can scroll back, too, to just see what the resolution is like. That's why I use Ecamm. You'll notice it's very subtle, the difference between, well, it's not that subtle, but between 720 and 1080p.
Okay, yeah. I'm looking at our show, or your show, I mean, on and yeah, a lot less clear.
You see that?
Yeah.
So what?
Now, in my case, it might be
things...
good. Less clear for me. Nobody wants to see me that clear.
Well, think about it this way, though, Dan. If you ever find yourself drawing traditionally, which you're going to be doing a little bit of both, I imagine, because you do both in some ways. You draw digitally for demos and in your artwork sometimes, but you have been known, I've heard rumors, to pencil every now and again. Something like this, and I'll let it focus for a second, is not possible on StreamYard. There's no set, like you cannot do this. It is a 720 large scale stream. So if you're watching this right now, it's not 4K. But if you're watching this on a 4K television that's upscaling in 1080p, this face is like, person-sized. And you can see the texture of the paper. That's why when I was printing the books, is that I wanted people to see every little last detail of the quality. And speaking of, because I have it here, and now it's reflective, so let me get into the interior pages so people can see this. Where's that page that is oh, here you go. Here's the cover image, but look at this. Like, let it focus. Look at what you can see happening when you get really close on the artwork. That's what the art-only edition is going to allow you to do. But not only is the book in beautiful resolution, and look at that. You can see the texture of the watercolor paper in this book, guys. I mean, that's what you're getting with these books. That's why I spend so much money on the print job. That's why they cost what they do. is because I think that it's so important not to skimp on that stuff. And so if you love that feeling you get, I remember the first time, my favorite Snow White story of the original Disney classic is not watching it in the theater, not watching it in all of this stuff, where you would see it on the big screen or in VHS as a kid. It was when they released the Blu-ray of it for the first time, and they had remastered it, and for the first time you could see this. You could see that those backgrounds were painted on watercolor paper. You could see the texture. This is the level of detail that I want to bring to every single book that I have here. You see what I mean? Like, you're getting right up on this stuff, and let it focus for a sec. Boom. And that's what I love about having stuff, having this ability, to broadcast to people, because this is, just to give you guys a sense of what we're looking at, I want to put a pen next to it. So that werewolf head, now look at the size of that pen. Now let's remove that, and let me see if I can get this to zoom in here a little bit. That's the detail. Let's see here. I got to tip it this way.
That's wild. Dig that picture,
Isn't that
man.
craziness? It's just so detailed. And I want people... Look, guys, we need art in our life. And I mean art Thibert, of course. But also, we need artwork in our life. And it makes us feel...
There's an image you're not going to see at any comic book company today. I'm talking about the girl, but the guy...
yes, well, this one, absolutely.
Yeah. Also the girl, too, actually. But,
But do you ever see... Here's one for you.
Especially that image. And this is so great about these creative endeavors in the independence. You bring in whatever influences are you wanna, whatever, and you're gonna your audience is probably gonna be interested in that too.
Yep, and here we go. We got another backer. Mechanoid just backed, and so let me see if I can do this here. Let's refresh. Oh, it's not there yet. It'll come through in a second. Oh, we're gonna have to give it some time, I guess. Sometimes it takes just a little bit of time to come through, so we're gonna come back and check in on that. But let me say this. Let me go back to here. We'll go right back to that in a second. But here's the other part of this. Every panel you have in a book has to have a certain... And thank you so much for backing, my friend. We're going to do a cheerleader as soon as that refreshes. But this was the thing, right? Actually, it's so funny. I'm trying to wear bifocals. It is so hard to learn how to do it. Like, I have to put my glasses on or take them off. I have such a hard time shifting my eyes inside the glasses. But let me say this. You typically don't have a lot of panels without words. But I have this panel right here where you see her, and there's the 2 word balloons. He says amen, and then we go to, or amen, we go to this panel.
Oh, yeah. I wish more artists would do it. It's a Frank Miller kind of...
conscious decision.
Yeah.
It's
a Frank Miller effect,
Yep.
which is wonderful. Because you're saying more with the silence than you would with the words.
And it's just a wonderful way to let people... Like, I love doing stuff like this. Give it a second to focus. Look at that. I mean, you are seeing the way that the paint breaks when it hits the paper. You know what I mean? Like, that's the stuff. And Eric Weathers did such a fantastic job lettering this book for me, by the way. But it's just non-stop detail. Non-stop texture.
It's such an art to be able to not... I mean, God, it's got to be so tough because there's going to be points, and there's going to be points where he does have to cover up something. And that's what's interesting about the book without the word, the version you have without the words too. That's nice. Because
that's also a great way to watch
I'll do something. And I'm like, I'll draw it, and even making my own book, and I'm like, oh, I got to cover that up now. Oh, shit, I need to cover it with words, but
I always have to paint. Let me see if I can get this to work here. Let me do share with the screen. Let's see if this will work now. Hopefully, we got to go through. Oh, still not through yet. I don't know why. That's weird. Well, we'll see if we can get it. Either way, thank you for backing the book. I'm sure it's in there somewhere. I'm sure it's in there. Oh, it says says 84. It was like 10 minutes. Okay, so that 82 is you. Sometimes people back and they group them together. That happens. So yes, you're backer number 2. So either way, you're getting a cheerleader. So here you go, my friend. Charge! See, I can't resist it, Dan. I can't. Dan. See, and this is okay. So here's a little bit of behind the scenes Comicsgate lore. Okay, so when it comes to those intros and things like,
what's the name of the group?
Oh, let me look it up. I'll see if I can find it. Actually, hang on. Hold on, I'll check it out in a second. I want to hold this thought real quick just because this is a big one. So when it comes to Comicsgate intros, it started out right. One was done, I think, maybe it was Kelsey who did it. I don't know, but did John Malin the Wolf one that, what do you call it, that Ethan loved. And then, so I went in and I remastered that one and made it HD because I was doing another one. But the first one I did was the Graham Nolan The Eagle Has Landed. I thought I'd run with a animal theme, right? And then I came up with Let Your Tiger Out for Shane because he was called Cat Pappy. And that was a song that my wife used to speed walk to. And so I was like, would say that to her and she thought it was great. So I grabbed that song. So all of this stuff kind of like would just start here and I'd never know how it was going to play, including the Comicsgate Kings intro. Like I basically just sent it to him done. I was like, here it is. And he's like, all right, I'll use it.
That's a great intro. Oh my gosh. It's so good.
Gosh. That one was really fun and it was hard to figure out what it was going to be. But the thing with all of this stuff is to have a good time, is to have a really good time doing it. And so I like to get people excited about other people. And here's a little secret about me that I was revealing the other night on a stream. If somebody ever wonders...
Tammy's asking, was it House of Pain that made that?
No, it's not House of Pain, although it does sound like them. Maybe it feels like it should be House of Pain.
Yeah, it sounds like them.
Oh, gosh, now I gotta find it. Let me see. Oh, no, maybe it is. No, it is House of Pain. You're right, of course.
There you
Let me
go.
just make sure. Yes, it's House of Pain. Of course it is. I can't believe I forgot that. Yeah, I love House of Pain. Thank you, Tammy. You got it.
Yes, yeah, she's a young...
Or sorry, Mechanoid. House of Pain. Yeah, you got it.
She's a young hipster.
Of course, we're all hipsters here. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, they know these things. They know these groups.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I love that song when I found it because that's weird. I wouldn't think about that because House of Pain, Cypress Hill, all of that stuff, man. I was living there for quite a bit. But yeah, and I don't know, man. It's like I always try to find something that's fun. So with Aaron early on, I did the Apocalypse Now one, because I wanted to do something that was funny, but that wasn't going to make him too uncomfortable, obviously. But Graham's The Eagle Has Landed, and calling him the Eagle was, to me, like that was a spot on perfect,
Did you do Aaron's space one that sounds like...
No.
Okay, I love that one. That was fun.
I didn't do that one, and that one's great. Paul Ravoche's is fantastic. It cracks me up every time. I love that one.
Yeah. Actually, there's another. There was two for Paul Ravoche, and I like the other one too. Like did you see both intros for Paul Ravoche?
Was it the one I did, the rocket ship one? With the rocket ship taking off? Was that the one, or was it another one?
Maybe.
Oh, was it the Hannibal the Cannibal Lecter one? I did a video for that.
There was one, of course, with the Brian Ferry music. Yeah. But there's another, and I don't know what the other one was. But Ethan was saying, which one do you guys like better? I kind of like the other one better. But
was it the rocket? Satellite Love by Def Leppard. That was the one I did.
But the Paul Ravoche one's funnier, and that's that's the main thing. Is it's got to be funny,
Yeah. Here's a little secret about when it comes to art, entertainment, and building an audience that some of you guys may not know. Ethan knows what he's doing, right? So that's the fun part. The fun part of doing work for Ethan and John, whenever I've done work for them, they know what they want, they know what works, and it's nothing personal. They get the thing done. So if I'm actually shocked that so many things I've done have been things that worked, but he would send me a message in the middle of the day, and we didn't really even know each other at this point. I mean, we were getting to know each other, but he just knew I did video editing for him, and he didn't. I mean, it's weird. I think I'd done the CyberFrog trading card at this point, maybe. And he asked me to do the Frankie Goes to Hollywood Relax with Trump and Kamala, not knowing, of course, where we were heading down the road. But the, I'm going to come video as it is with Kamala. And
wait, that was yours?
That was me, yeah. I mean, we're talking, dude. I go, like, I remember when I was on a stream with Bancroft, it was my first stream on, I think, on his channel. We were just meeting, and he found out all the stuff that I had done, because he thought I was just kind of new on the scene, and I was like, nah, dude, I've been, and it was, and his friend Joe was talking about it and laughing, goes, you didn't know Shanth does all this stuff, and the King's intros, and hey, Diesel, it's good to see you, brother.
Do you have a Paul Ravoche that you made and you could show?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh yeah, I do.
Let's check that out.
Let me see if I can. I'll replace. Sadly, Dan, I'm gonna have to. So
That's cool, man.
That was
that one.
one of them. And then
It's got great energy, you know, got a lot of energy in that one.
And what was the other one? Let me pause this one real quick.
You can go and get a copy of ISOM number 2 on my eBay store.
You think you can dissect me with this blunt little tool?
Oh, you know, it's a good question.
And that accent you've tried so desperately to shed, pure West Virginia. What is your father do? Is he a coal mine?
There's no good answer to any of this, Paul. Are you sorry you asked?
He does got a little bit of a Hannibal Lecter. What's the actor's name?
It just cracked me up, man.
What's the actor's name? Who played?
Oh, that was
Lecter?
Anthony Hopkins, the great Anthony Hopkins.
Right, he does look a little like Anthony Hopkins, doesn't he?
Well,
or
it
a lot
was
like
just
Anthony Hopkins.
The funniness to me, or what cracked me up about it was, there got to this point where we were just, that was a stream where we were just deep diving into all of these kinds of things. And I just, for some reason, that cracked me up when he goes, "Are you sorry you asked?" When Ethan goes, like when he was explaining the history of certain things. And I just thought, oh my God, I think that would be hilarious. Because whenever there's somebody who's like kind of quiet and intellectual and in terms of how they approach things, I always try to go somewhere really fun and crazy. So that's why Aaron was, of course, Colonel Kurtz from Apocalypse Now, because it was I could get him to match. It's hard to edit it a little bit, but to make that stuff happen, yes, Tammy's right, Anthony Hopkins. It was just so fun, you know, to play around with at the end. Yeah. Oh man, Diesel, it's always great when you hear. Yeah, EVS played the Revoche one yesterday. I think, yeah, that's a great one, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fun.
Well, it's just funny because it's so you know, it's just got a funny pronunciation way.
Yeah.
How do people do that now? Like, I guess you can do anything, can't you? You can just you can, you know, mash words together, change things, and
it's well, for me, I do it very analog, because one of the things that people one of the things I think is useful for people to consider when they're doing this stuff, and the chat knows this better than anybody, is that we're spending time here and realness matters. You know what I mean? Like, just us being fully present really matters. And so there were little things that Ethan does that people would say, why don't you just screen share, where he would film his iPad? But I've told people, if you draw on your iPad, it may sound insane, but people like that human connection. You can put your iPad in front of a camera and draw on your iPad in front of a camera, and it gives people that one-step removal. I found a lot of people saying to me that when they watch streams, when it's you know, just a chill stream of somebody drawing, sometimes they say they spend so much time looking at computers, seeing your hand one step removed is actually more relaxing for them, because they feel like they're doing work when they see a computer screen. Now, to me, I'm like, I wouldn't think, you know, that's like an odd thing, right? Because I'm used to get the hand out of the way. When I first started doing digital demos for my students, I was like, everybody's got a great view. Totally remix culture. You're right. Yeah. Amen, Simply Green. You know, but it's there's different ways to look at it. But when they see us get up and grab something, you know, and they like, oh, you're in a real house. Yeah, it humanizes you, Timmy Mello. You're right. If Comicsgate has, and it has many amazing aspects to it, is that you guys get the best seat in the house for the creation of these books, but you guys actually get to know creators, and you get to see people, you know, just going through their lives trying to make culture, trying to make art, trying to make something beautiful for people. That's what Nosfero is to me. Nosfero is, to me, not only a love letter to the backers who back the book, but the artwork that helped me get through so much stuff in my life. movies like E.T., movies like Star Wars, movies like Raiders of the Lost Ark, they weren't just junk food, right? The Todd McFarlane run on Spider-Man, things like, oh my gosh, Kingdom Come even later, way later in my life. But, the Punisher Limited series by Mike Zeck, all of these books just hit me. Rocketeer by Dave Stevens. How could I leave that one out? Even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. These books brought a little bit of beauty to me in a rural part of Tennessee, a rural part of Chattanooga, where I wasn't going to get out to see museums, where we were going to get all the movies last back in the day, especially when I moved from Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan, right? Like, I was where Detroit was, Motor City was, big movies came there first. We had chain brand stores that we didn't have when I moved down to Tennessee. And so art, the power of art, like Bob Ross coming into my home and saying, let's have some fun. We're going to paint. That's one of my biggest inspirations. And I always tell people, I am still alive, so far as we know. Bob Ross is still kicking my ass on YouTube. He's still kicking ass.
Yeah, do you know they do have a live? I'm actually joined his channel where, and he's regularly getting. I'm actually, I should just check and see, because it goes all the time. I think it goes 24/7.
Yes, the early G.I. Joe comics were high art. I remember the one where I got the origin story of Snake Eyes and the helicopter crash. I remember reading that and just gasping, what happened to Snake Eyes when he's trying to free Scarlet. And I got to say this too about the this stuff, because someone just brought up Shane and Mandy.
He's got 800 people watching right now. It's live.
Shane and Mandy are having me on, I believe, tonight onto Ballers to promote Nosfero. So I'm going to be on that show. But make no mistake, I learned how to speak without a Southern accent, but I was in Chattanooga from 7 to 17, 18 during my formative years. And so my Southern accent just will come on when I'm in Florida, dropping my son off. I went right back to y'all like this. I said, oh, are y'all waiting? So what did I say? Oh, are y'all going to pre-board? Oh my gosh, well, you got kids here. Let me get up. You guys take my seat so you can sit down instead of standing here waiting. Like, it was just reflex, for me. Because I saw this young couple coming back up to where I live, and they had a baby, and she was sitting down, but he was holding the baby, standing up with all their gear to pre-board, and I had a really good seat, like, before you board the plane. So I was like, here, let me you get up. I was holding it for you guys, That's why God put me here to give you guys a seat. But it was... yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. That's just a part of me that's always been there. Just walking. I remember buying the new Fantastic Four issues that were drawn by Arthur Adams and inked by Comicsgate's very own. Please check out Oodles of Doodles and other stuff too. Art Thibert. So his book, the link is for his book, his beautiful ink work is in the description. And I walked through this tunnel that goes through Missionary Ridge in Chattanooga, where my school was, and it had 2 lanes of traffic, no shoulder, and then an elevated walking path that could only go one person. So you'd have to, if you ran into somebody going through this tunnel, you had to kind of like move to the side to get. It's creepy. It was like a shining hallway. Yeah. But there was a comic book store called Comics and Curios on the other side, and I walked from my school through this bus tunnel and then in downtown to go pick up comics, and I saw Art Thibert's Fantastic Four. That's my youth, And thank you, Eric Huffles, and God bless you. You're a hell of an artist too. And I hope that sandwich treated you well, man. I'm still recovering from the ones Ethan sent me. Yeah, use guys is so much easier. Well, this is the crazy thing. So before I was in Chattanooga, Dan Lawless, Danny Boy to some of you guys who know, who are down, who are hip, who are with it. Danny Boy and I lived in the same neighborhood. So I always said you guys because I grew up on Electric Company, right? And I grew up on all that stuff, and it was always, hey, you guys. And when I came down, people just looked at me like I was crazy when I moved to Tennessee. And they're like, y'all. And it took me forever, to get my y'all in gear for back there. So, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, and sub to Shane's channel, both of his channels.
Do you say y'all guys, or do you just drop the guys?
Lawless. No, I said, well, it was so funny. So our first time we went to a grocery store, because we hadn't learned this stuff yet, somebody asked my mom, who was an Army brat, somebody asked her, they said, would you like, sorry, how are you doing? And how are you doing today, ma'am? And her response was, what's it to you? That's how hardcore. Yeah, well, she was a tough lady, you know. What are you going to do? But it was, butter wouldn't melt in her mouth, as we say in the South. But wow. the thing is that when we look at this kind of stuff, and I think about my youth, the comic book shop, right? Wade Sane, who was the guy who was my comic shop owner, and I reached out to him recently to thank him for just listening to me and helping me with comics and everything like that. Wade said to me, I mean, it was a really nice family. I think they went to our church, and his wife, who was also really kind to me when I come by the store, was.
Is that shop still there?
No, he works somewhere else now. The shop closed, but his brother-in-law was, I think, John Warren, who did the price guide for Overstreet's Price Guide. So, like, it was crazy that this was in Chattanooga. So, yeah, you can look up John
Is that
Warren.
tunnel still there? That you think that
the tunnel's still there? Yeah. Let me see if I can find it for you. So
can you do a street view of it?
I can do a street view. Let me see.
That'd be cool.
Yep, I'll show it to you guys.
I'd like to see this because that sounds crazy to walk through some tunnel to get to a comic shop. That sounds like a lot of fun, man.
It's
going on an adventure.
Right through the cuts right through the ridge here. Let me see if I can find, because I don't know if it's north or south or, you know, which way it goes. But let me see here. What avenue was it? Okay, so I think it was northbound, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so there's the school. Oh man, I can't even get myself sorted out. Okay, here, let me see. Maybe it was south. Okay, let me try this one more time. See if I can figure this out here. There we go. Okay, cool. So that's the field. Oh, okay, I've got it. Okay. Holy cow. Oh my God, I was insane to have done this. I'll find this for you guys. Hang on a second. This will be, I promise that if I can make this happen, it'll be worth it here. Alrighty.
Google Earth is so much fun, man.
Google Earth is a trip, right? So
I know, because you can. The crazy thing is, I've done this where you can kind of go to like the Himalaya mountains or something, and just click on a camera that they put on a 360, and see a view from the other side of the world. It's incredible, a real view, real ordinary view.
So my school is over here, right? There's the parking lot, and here's the tunnels. Now I'm walking here. Now,
yeah.
I still remember it's like yesterday. You see that guard concrete wall there, you know, like you have on roads?
Yeah.
So all the trees falling here, because look, this is straight up kudzu and mountain right there, right? So you go into this tunnel. Here it did. It did. This is the wall. This is the railing with the tiles. I still remember this.
Yeah.
And right there are the places where you could get down into the road. And I'm walking through this tunnel. Whoa, that's blown out a bit. I'm walking through. Look at how long this tunnel is.
I know, it's not a short tunnel either, yeah.
It's not a short tunnel, guys. This is what I was walking through.
You earned your comic books, man.
And you go through this tunnel. God, I forgot how long this was. And then you come out the other side here. There's the kudzu. And I would walk down this road. Let's see if I can get there. Oh boy, I zoomed out too much. Oh, do I have to go this way? Ah, here we go. Nope, it's just zooming. It's not letting me get to where I want to go. So I'd come out the other side of this tunnel. And let me see.
There's your arrow. Whatever you had I saw on the ground there.
Let me see if I can zoom
Go back. You had an arrow on the ground there. You could.
I do. Oh, there it is. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, there you go. Well, now, will it let me go? There we go. I'm out of the tunnel. So I would walk down here. Look at the level of sidewalk we're talking about on this main road. And so here are all of these stores. Walk down. The store isn't even there anymore. But let me see if I can find where it used to be. So I'm still walking.
Oh, small town, huh? You were in, huh?
Walk past. Well, this is kind of like near the city. It's kind of weird. But you'd walk here. I wonder if they still even have the building there. Still walking. There's the gas station. I remember walking past there, I think. Lottery tickets. There it is. That's where it was. Whoa, didn't mean to jump over here. So, is that it right there? Maybe this is it. Oh, I think this might be it. Yeah, this is where Comics and Curios was, I think. And that was the parking lot. So this is where I would walk to get stores. or Goat Comics. Oh no, is that it? Maybe that's it. Hold on, let me just double check. No, that's not it. It was the other place. So yeah, so that's where I would walk to get my comic books. So
just a typical comic shop, any old
just
building,
a typical comic shop, and just a typical, like, all these roads, I'm crossing them. I must have been like 11, 12, or 13 when I started doing some of this stuff. Holy cow. So yeah, so that's the kind of stuff that I did to get here, to be able to do this kind of stuff right here, guys. And yeah, you guys' support means everything. I mean, this was something that I've been doing for a very long time. Yeah, too much walking, I'm taking the bus. Yeah, we didn't have as great of a bus situation as you might think we would have. Let me see if I can make this happen here. There we go. There's the camera. So yeah, I was just trying to do this. Yeah, Stallone did a movie in that tunnel. Yeah, I mean, it really does look like it. Yeah, time-limited turns, racing latency to pan, tilt. Yeah, you're right. It's true. But this is the crazy thing, right? You try to figure out, no worries, Spaceman. Thank you for supporting me and everything like that. Yeah, East Tennessee is almost all mountains. There are tunnels everywhere, 100%. Is that Backman Tunnel? I don't know. It's on Brainerd Road. So it's on the main drag going through Missionary Ridge and Brainerd Road, which is a famous Civil War battle that happened on that ridge. Yeah, too much walking. I'm taking the bus. But, you know, these comic book stories run deep with us. You know, we were walking to get, like, for me, there weren't buses I could take. There were no comic shops because I lived near off the Tennessee River, so by a hydroelectric dam. So there was a shoulderless highway bridge over the dam. You know, Sean finishing up, sending people here. Thanks so much, brother. You should get yourself in here. I sent the link. It's in the Waffle Lodge room. So if you want to pop in, go ahead. We'll figure it out. But it's just a crazy thing. It's so hard to get to things when you don't have a car and you're 13 or 14 and you want to get the latest comic book. You know, you have to depend on somebody's older brother. Now, anybody around the world who's a comic book fan can meet creators, and we're streaming in better resolution than Bob Ross had, or those interviews with the comic book greats had, all of that stuff. And they can see me make the work, back it, and it comes from me to you directly. And it's a miracle, man. So yeah, back Nosfero,
I want to share a cool comic book shop that is
Please, dude.
really
that
I mean, I didn't go to it when I was a kid, but I know of it. And if anyone's in the Michigan city, the state, this is in Lansing, Michigan, and it was called the Curious Bookshop. And if you look here, you see it had a storefront like right there. Yep. Well, right over here is this another door, and it goes up. It went up into the comic book shop here in the upstairs, like that. It was so cool. The cool thing is, somebody, I don't know who, I forget the guy's name, but somebody painted characters. Maybe I can find them.
That's what the shop I just showed you had. Comics and Curios had a mural, the whole side of the
murals
building,
up the stairway and down the hall. It was so cool. Maybe I can find them. I'll have to see if I can come up with that.
Yeah, and by the way, I have to point this out. Yeah, I don't know why every time I just made you large. I just made you epic. Every time I watch YouTube, I think about that Bob Ross's YouTube stream. I miss Bob Ross so much, Timmy Mello. What a great guy. Yeah, I could listen to Stan and Todd's bits on TV. That's right. You can interact with us. That's what's cool about Comicsgate. I mean, Nosfero, guys, this is a Comicsgate book. We are doing stuff in terms of production quality on our books and on this book where people don't paint comics because they take forever. Because to get that's why I did a complete story in Nosfero, because I know this has got to be like a pulp, you know, low page count, high plot. Lots happens in this book. Mr. Monkey Boy, it's great to see you, man. Great to have you here. But people would say it's crazy. Just do something digital, right? Just don't do stuff by hand. Just, you know, throw something together. And I went, no, people here, I want to show them that we can do it better, you know, in Comicsgate. I want to show them that we can do things like this that, you know, Ari Howard would do in Solomon Kane, you know, and that, my gosh, Carl Laemmle, the great, you know, Jewish immigrant founder of Universal Studios, just like Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, for that matter, who I think were first generation. He did stories like, they did the first silent version of Ben-Hur, A Story of Christ, one of the greatest stories ever written by a Civil War general, funny enough, the original book. But then you come back and you see Ben-Hur with Charlton Heston. That's what we used to be able to do. We used to be able to do movies like The Thing by John Carpenter and American Werewolf. That's the stuff that inspires this, the greatness of American culture. And Greek immigrant Jack Pierce, who did the makeup for Frankenstein's monster and The Wolfman and all of that stuff. Love these guys. That's right. Now on this stream was fun balancing act. Yes, I know. It's good to finally be there. Lurid grandeur. That was the goal. Yep. Yeah, he'll find the link. I've got him all keyed up. I sent the link. He's probably going and using the restroom right now, before he has to pop on. But it's we love this stuff. We love comic book stores. We love, being able to make culture for you guys. This is people will say, where were you when this stuff, or did you know, or were you there when this stuff was being done? And for you guys who've got some of the first editions of Nosfero, there's still some available on the new campaign I have. So last chance to get a first printing of Nosfero. I was totally peeing, says Rocky. I know you were. I know how it works. I've known you for 30 years. We're old now. It was, it's one of those things to where you're getting art editions and books that are going to be hand signed, that are going to be, shipped to you by the artist. And you're going to go, yeah, this is when they were putting this stuff in the mail and shipping it. It was before it was in a bookstore, where you could get the book that was mass produced. This was like printed by the person, unboxed and packed and shipped to me by the artist. That's a new thing, man. This is a special time. I hope everybody knows how special of a time we're in right now in CG. Eric Huffle says, this was my childhood local comic shop. Dr. Nos in Marietta. I spent so much time hanging around Marietta, Georgia, man. That's great. Let's see here. Fantasy. Okay, I'm going to see if I can find that.
I can't find these pictures that I know I have pictures, but I can't find them right now.
Hang on a sec. We'll see if I can find it. Let's see. Random McRanderson is saying, I think modern Bob Ross stream would be like a Kim Jong-ji stream. It absolutely would be, or a Carl Kopinski stream. Yeah, rest in peace, Kim Jong-ji. But yeah, those were great streams. Let's see here. Ultimately, it's one of the same. It's one and the same. When I think about it, the catch of good will. Yes, that's right. The catch of good will come. Early gaming companies built up with me was this. Was the people. Yes. The catch that early gaming companies built up with me is the people. Because you do. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I looked the other day, and I was at 500 YouTube videos. 504, I think now. And I thought, Dan's mic is louder than mine. I'll see if I can adjust it. Let me see here. Make it a little bit lower. There we go. It should be a little bit better, hopefully. Let me know if it's too low now.
Wait, mine's louder?
I guess that's what they were saying. So yeah, Matt, just talk a little bit and let's see, and we'll see if we can get it.
Hello, how's it going, everybody? Looking at Curious Bookshop stuff here.
There you go.
Can't seem to find
anything. So guys, let us know if that's good. Or mine's. Here comes trouble. Let me see if I can. Make this happen. I just got to put him in the right box here. Boom.
There you go.
What's up, Rock?
What? What's up, guys?
300 subscribers, my friend. Congratulations on your 300 subscribers.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Oh, YouTube subscribers?
Surprise. Say again?
YouTube subscribers?
No, newspaper subscribers, Dan. 300 newspaper subscribers.
No, he's lying. Yes. Don't believe him, Dan. Don't believe him, Dan. Rocky's a damn liar.
You're so trusting. You're so
newspaper
trusting.
Subscribers 300 is not good enough.
Wait, you can't be throwing stones in the too trusting. You're like one of the nicest people I've ever met, Rock. Like,
I know.
When people look at you and see you and me hanging out, and they go, "What did he do in a past life? Was Rocky a terrible person? Like, why did this guy befall Rocky?" No, man. I tell you what, dude. We've been talking comics now for 30 years. And yeah. I tell people all the time.
It's kind of sad.
No, here's the crazy thing. You either love it or you don't. And we love comics, man. We're still like nerding out about books. Did you see this? Did you see this?
Totally.
You just got one more hurdle to catch up with me, and that's a college drop-off.
Well, we were talking earlier about fantasies, the male fantasy. It's something that's really exciting to explore with these comic books and stuff like that. What is the power fantasy? The superhero winning the day and getting the girl and all that kind of thing. That's what it's all about. It's the birds and the bees, really.
Amen. Yeah, and it's
the birds
the
and
other
the
thing.
bees. Yeah.
Well, I was talking with
it's our
with Rocky.
nature. It's a nature. Yeah.
You guys kill me. I was talking to Rocky the other night about this kind of stuff, but there was also, because we were talking about Gary Martin earlier, who was a huge influence on us. We had that book in college, and you've still got it right there, dude. You got to have Gary on your show, Rock. You've got to. Gary is a card, man. He's
on my show.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Yeah, dude. Gary would probably love to do it. Look at that. Yep. Yeah. We both have that book, 100%. Yeah. So, but you have, and I were talking about what kind of brush, what kind of nib people were using freshman year. So there was that element of passing on the craft. You know what I mean? The craft of this.
Is that still in
thing
print? That book? Is Gary still printing it?
It needs to be in print.
I thought he released a new version of it, like an updated version.
No, I didn't.
I thought that he just crowdfunded one, right? Yeah.
Did he?
You have to
he did.
ask him.
I think chat, let us know if Gary did a new version of it. But yeah, did you see Gary's Darth Maul posted? Wow, no. But
he should be selling that on Comics Get Kings and stuff,
He should 100% be. Yeah.
I want to say
sell
that
the rights
he did
to
it
me
on,
for $1 and then let me. No, go ahead, Rock. Sorry.
I think he did the new version on Fund My Comic, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I was one of the
my version's even signed. My version's even signed by. I don't know if you could see it. Nah, you can't see it. My version's signed by Steve Rude. Yeah.
Hold on a second. Wait a second. I'm gonna make it big. Can you see it? It might be your gamma level is. You got the blur focus on.
Oh, you got the blur focus. Okay.
Oh, dang it. Blur focus. Hang on.
We got to see you in your all 4K definition.
No, I'm not on a 4K setup for this side. Can you guys see it?
Whoa. See if I can pick it up. I can barely see something, but I'm not sure. Rock, you've got to. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to. First of all, you're telling me that he signed it. I don't see it, so I think you made that whole thing up.
Yeah, guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah, that's right. You're innocent, Rock. Always with me.
Oh, I can't even share screen because I'm not on Google Chrome. Dang it!
What are you doing, man?
Ooh, it doesn't matter. Yeah. He signed it.
So apparently, Timmy Mello was saying he did do a reprint, but there were only 8 people who ordered it. And I'm thinking, man, if that had been on Indiegogo, that would have been huge. You know? Yeah, Gary's and Eric Huffles is saying I have that book. Let me say this, guys. One of the things I'd like to see, people are always hiring or talking about collaborating with people. I don't know what John would make of this, but I would love to see, just because I think it would be cool as hell, I would love to see a John Malin piece inked by Gary Martin. I think that would be crazy to see, because John works in digital, and I always tell people doing digital, outputting digital pencils and then inking them traditional is a really cool. You've been doing some of that, right, Rock, with your pencils? You've been penciling and then bringing them in. That's a great way to work.
Yeah.
No,
What I do is I work out my figures now on the computer because the thing that's so nice is that I can flip the image and work on it again in that way. Versus where you're on a piece of paper, I use a mirror to see the reverse images. Now I can flip it. And I can really make those figures. If there's something wonky or weird, I can work that problem out. Then I print it out, use it as an underlay, draw it. Then I scan it back in color. So I'm actually kind of, doing my roughs. That's not just the roughs on the computer,
I'm doing all my pencils. Well, I'm just doing master studies right now, and I'm doing the pencils traditionally even. I'm not even doing them digitally. Yeah. And the only thing I'm doing digitally is bringing those pencils in and then turning them to non-photo blue. And then, I can show you.
Yeah, man. Come on now.
The last thing I just finished while I was streaming while you were streaming. Sorry.
Yep,
brother.
Dude, we don't ever think, dude, that is not even a thought, man. It's because everybody's always streaming, Yeah. Oh, wait. Let me, is there a way to do this? See if I can make you solo. There you go. I'm blowing you way up. Yeah. There you go.
So, let me turn stupid auto blur. Hang on 1 second. So, these were, so this is the Michael Golden page.
Yeah, dude.
I blew it out of the NAM book.
Out of the NAM.
The NAM, yeah. And
Sorry, I couldn't resist Tropic Thunder reference. Go ahead.
So then I drew it penciled. Yeah, just trying to not trace it, but just like, eyeball the, like mastering what he was doing with the pencils in pencil format. So this is all traditional pencil. Then I scanned it in and printed it out on cardstock, and then I inked it. Just finished the inks on stream.
Oh, okay. That's fun, man.
So traditionally inking it. So doing this, the reason why I'm doing this is just to study, like, as you guys know, anytime you're doing a master study copy or whatever, you learn so much just by getting into the weeds of, like, how did they create this? How did they pick this composition? How did they draw this anatomy? How did they lay down this ink line? And so it's been a blast. The very first master study I did was Mike Zeck.
Heck yeah, man.
From The Punisher. So yeah, Mike Zeck, Michael Golden. Next one, possibly Mr. Monkey Boy was suggesting Steranko. I might do an Eisner page. Yeah, I might do an Eisner page, which would be crazy, but I love his brushwork.
I'd love to see you do an Eisner page just because you could really just bite into the brush with that. It'd be a joy.
Yes.
Steranko,
totally.
One of the best Steranko stories, and I saw them. I think they were doing a show on Steranko on Graybeards. I think recently, but I'm not sure because I think I saw it. But one of the best stories Brian Stelfreeze told me last time I saw him when he was up here. It was probably about 3 or 4 years ago, and I had him come up as a guest at the college I was teaching at. And Brian was saying he was at a convention, and he was having this very intellectual conversation about storytelling versus this and that, and like he had taken a very strong stance, and all these people are like around him because he's Brian and he's talking, and all of a sudden people start kind of cracking up a little bit, and Brian's like kind of like, what the heck? And so he turns around and Steranko is standing behind him.
What?
And Steranko goes, I'm not sure if I agree necessarily with what you said there. And then Steranko sat down and they started having like a meeting of the gurus discussion. And Brian goes, I think you've got me to change my opinion. And Steranko goes, you might have gotten me to change mine. It was just the most gangster shit
amazing.
Ever, dude. Brian's legend, dude. He's a legend. God bless him.
That's like the Crips and the Bloods meeting up and like exchanging bandanas or something.
To me, it's actually like James Brown and Michael Jackson on stage, and you can literally do that with Steranko's hair to James Brown's hair. Like that's a direct lineup, man. That's a direct lineup.
That's so cool. Man. That's a great story.
Isn't it?
Hey, show this my screen here.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
This is a little study that I did, and it kind of shows you how I might do a study.
So good. Yeah.
Where I'm not copying it exactly. I'm just trying. I'm sort of drawing it in my style, and then seeing what happens when, when it kind of like incorporates some of that feel.
Just lost rock.
Yeah.
I'm trying to turn this window off. There we go. It's like it did this weird window thing when we did the share. Yeah, that's awesome. Welcome back, Tammy. Yeah, that's beautiful, dude. I'm gonna grab myself a drink. I'll be right back.
There's the big guy. I mean, he's the master, obviously,
Yeah. And that's the thing I was, telling people on my stream, like, as I'm doing it, like, if I was trying to get it, like, exactly 1 for 1, I could just photocopy it. Like, what's the point, right? But to take what they're doing, and you're obviously going to naturally do what you instinctually do as an artist on it, and not be so held to, like, oh, I got to be... I mean, I think I'm trying to copy these a little bit closer than you did in this one, but still, like, the same thinking of, like, I don't have to get it exact, but just learn from why they did what they're doing and see how that informs my own work.
Yeah, I got another one. I did. If I could find it.
Oh, yeah, why didn't you put the blood on the sword, Dan? That's a good question. Spaceman says he loves the blood. Why didn't you put the blood?
Mine is before. It's coming.
Well, Dan had this thing he doesn't want to talk about, but like once he starts with the blood.
Yeah, I go into fever. I got to kill somebody.
He goes into a fever. He rips the shirt off, grabs the sword, and then runs down the block. And it's his wife is like, "Danny boy, come home."
I'm in the AA program for sword wielding.
Barbarian.
First step: don't kill anybody.
That's right. That's right. Always the first step. Yeah, man. I have this book near me at all time. Yeah, the Blood Rage, says Eric Huffles. Amen, man. Amen. Yeah, love the blood on the sword, says Spaceman. Yeah, so this was, let me see if I can make this happen here. Where's the desk? Yeah. So this is by far one of my favorite Frazetta books, Rough Work, which is just, it's a small book. It's smaller than comic book size. And it's filled with, what can I show is the very next question that comes through my mind.
And
but
nothing.
It's filled with his sketches. Look at this.
Wow.
You can see the George Bridgman, you know, in the anatomy, but it's Frazetta. You know, like his sketches are beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, I love his sketches.
That's
They're
amazing.
fantastic.
Got to get the torch out. That hub will not come off. There you go. Past Master Dan is working, you know. But it's, you look at this stuff, and unfortunately, Frank does like the nudity, as you may know. But this painting, as we know, sold for a fortune. But look at the sketch. My God.
Did they say what the size of that sketch is?
It's just, the sketches have a life to them that are just extraordinary, you know.
Yep. Yeah, sorry, my wife.
I got another one shot that go ahead.
Sketch, but this is what's going to be in the back of the art edition of Nosfero. There's going to be, you guys know there was in the first edition of it, but I'm going to do some more stuff with the Nosfero layout pages. But for those of you guys who missed book 1 and haven't back the second book,
are you going to do different sketches in the back for the new versions?
These are not going to be the same books. I love the idea of every edition having something different about it.
Yeah.
So these are the sketch layouts that I would do, and it's so much easier for
I
me
love them, man.
to think in terms of paint, you know, when I'm sketching, because it's going to be a painting, so I need the value. And it's just, I tell you what, guys, from that stuff to here, you can see the jump in terms of figuring out the value and trying to figure out, like, what are we going to do with this stuff? That's the fun of it. I killed that snake character, so I never had to paint scales again. I just want you guys, spoiler alert, I'm done with scales. There's my man. Let's go, Dan. Why does it keep popping this up? I don't know why.
Yeah, now this one I actually painted live on my YouTube channel.
Nice.
Wow. You can go see me actually go for it. Now, and of course I thought, I always thought, what would the, what if I changed it to the water to a real water, and that just changed the lighting a little bit, that sort of thing. So I'm playing around with it, but I'm certainly studying it. And when it kind of gets in you when you copy it, but obviously you don't want to copy for print, you want to copy for practice.
Yeah.
So.
Oh wait,
Sharth looks off into the middle distance. Go ahead.
I'm doing a book about Vietnam. What do you mean you don't want to copy it for print?
Yeah,
that's my new comic book. It's gonna be called The Viet.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be called The Nam, different spelling.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, it's a funny thing because this stuff, I live with this work in my head. You know what I mean? Like the mental models of all the work I've seen. So Frazetta's in my stuff. Muka is, of course, the biggest. Like Muka's the influence on my stuff. But it's like I think the food that you eat art wise, you know, the art you take in, really does have a lot of impact on your trajectory. You know, it's if you look at good stuff and study the best stuff, like N.C. Wyeth and Howard Pyle and Jerome were being studied by Frazetta. He was even lifting, you know, some of their figures from Jerome paintings in his Conan paintings, which James Gurney, who's a big fan, said, look, he was clearly drawing, you know, from you know, Jerome books for reference and things like that. And but it was Frazetta. You know Frazetta everywhere, anywhere when you see him. I mean, it's craziness. And I think people know your work, Dan, too. I know what your stuff looks like when I see it at range. It's like, oh, that's Dan.
Hang on a second. I'm trying to get. I can't grab stuff off of Instagram. It's weird.
Oh yeah, you got to do either a screen cap or some other weird thing. Yeah, Instagram's very locked.
Yeah, I hate Instagram.
Yeah, they hate
but
us
it's good
too,
for for keeping your stuff more safe from being copied.
Yeah, it is. But I tell you this though, Instagram does not seem like it likes us very often. You know, Shanth, I noticed I'm a channel member now. Did someone gift? Okay, so Pranvat Gulati gifted 100 memberships on this stream.
Wow.
He did 2 batches of 50. So yes, Spaceman, you are a member. Thank you to him for all of his donations. Yeah. Every super complicated repetitive texture is suffering when you're not. Oh, then Dan went away and there I was.
Sorry, I just turned up. I stopped.
No, that's
sharing.
fine. I had to run. It was scary. No. So Yeah, you're right. I mean, the repetitive texture. There was this one. There's this one painting in here. Oh, this is the one, and I love it. Oh gosh, I got to cover up this part of it. But I was working on this while I was on a stream with Ethan, and Ethan said to me, "No one's gonna notice that." He goes, "You put all this work in," and what was so funny about him saying that is, I was like, "Look who's talking."
Yeah,
Ethan does so much detail. He's like, but I got what he meant. It was a total nod of, right, no one's going to notice what we do. But that
I will
is
say, like, one of
insane.
the things I discovered doing this particular NAM page is, like, the amount of detail that Michael Golden put into the tiniest things. Like,
Yep.
As I'm reproducing, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's thinking about, like, the placement of this tiny cup on a background figure sitting on this pile of bags in these tents. And it's like, as a reader, you just kind of brush through it really quick. You're like, oh yeah, that's a setting in Vietnam. But when you look at what he put into it, you realize that's why his stuff felt so believable and real. And yes, nobody will quote unquote notice it. But I think if you think of another artist that, like, just does shorthand of, like, a little quick scribble in the back to indicate something, it almost doesn't, like, you don't believe it as much as when somebody really is putting into the work of, like, this is how an authentic gun in Vietnam looks. Exactly. And this is what the bullet casing looks like. And yeah, it takes more time. It's harder for sure, but I think it
stood
pays
the test
off.
of time
I think it pays
too.
off.
That stuff
is,
I mean, dude, Will Eisner's work is incredible. You look at it, you know, his spirit stuff is nuts. Frank Frazetta's work is incredible. Like, my whole thing about it is, if you put together all of Frank Frazetta's paintings that he did, right, you get to, we only have a certain amount of paintings in our life that we have, or pieces of artwork that we have to make, and you want those things to count, and Frank's stuff is absolutely timeless. So for me, since I started the Shanth Enjeti art, you know, publishing thing, I've done, let's see, for book 1 and book 2, there were 20 paintings for each, so 40 paintings that I've done. And then for Nosfero, which is a huge jump up, I've done 33 paintings with 33 paintings and then the cover, and then all of the support paintings, and then the original head sketches. And every one of those 33 paintings has small paintings inside of it that all interlock. And it's just, I want to leave something that people go back to, like they do with, you know, some of, gosh, who's the guy? Richard Corbin. People like that, you know, Mobius when he did painted stuff, although he's done a lot more than that. But he's
Mobius did much really. Mobius did much painting. I don't remember Mobius.
He
painting.
did a ton of painting.
Oh my gosh!
Did everything
except for I mean, those weird abstract things. I remember mostly those. Yeah, but when he seemed like such a more linear guy. Like everything I have is linear. It is. By the way, I have a couple more paintings. I got two more of the Frazettas that I did. One of them. I don't know if you could show the screen.
Yeah,
here.
let me call this up and welcome Amanda, and Eric just dropped Paul Ravoche's link to his channel there. So let me get this on here. Let's see if this works. Where the heck fire is it? There it is. Let's see if this worked. There we go. I think I'm figuring it out slowly but surely.
Okay. So this one I did also live, and you can check it out on my YouTube channel. I painted it live.
Nice.
And the thing about this one, I always loved this painting, of course, and that's almost all of his paintings. But one thing I wasn't sure. I wondered what would happen if you made that background not black, because that's always the thing I thought was a little peculiar to me. That black, but just flat background. So that I changed it up.
Yeah.
I the funny thing is, okay, so I like the idea of what I did here, but when you think about it and you kind of squint your eyes, you see Frazetta made a perfect design, and I kind of ruined it with because his is light. Two light figures against a dark background in essence, and I made a light and a dark, which is okay, but still it was fun. It was I do
totally like screwed it up, Dan. Looks horrible.
Dan, listen,
looks horrible, Dan.
I don't even know what you're
thinking. You screwed it up.
Yeah, just send all of the original work you have to our addresses, and we'll make sure
that
it gets disposed of. Just send me the high resolution files with a little waiver. Don't read it. Just sign it, okay? Yeah. As a friend. Oh my gosh, look at that.
Now this one I didn't do live, but I wish I had.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot of fun.
I wish you had too, dude. It's great.
I should just redo it. Try it again. But it was a lot of fun. You see what I wrote here? Studying Frankie Baby.
Yep. So Dan, I have to ask this question, and I this thing you keep talking about. I was working on it, and then I had to scrap this page, and I've done this thing. I really think because I've been watching you color, I've been watching all this stuff you're doing, man. I really think that a painterly approach, like you were like, when I said, I think of you as a painter, and you're like, what do you mean? And I'm looking at this going, I don't know, Dan. Maybe I just made it up out of thin air, you know? It's like,
well, that's in fact what I'm doing. I mentioned I redid my story the first couple pages 4 times. The 4th time was painted, so I decided I'm painting it. That's it. Yep. That's gonna take a while, but I'm painting it because that's what
Rocky,
I know. I know you're right.
Could you do something, Rocky, to him? Can you say stop tossing out your pages now that he's painting? We just got to get him to do it. What are we gonna do with this guy? He's he's great, isn't he? Can he just be great and accept it? I mean, my lord.
Yeah.
It's like, what you threw out is probably beautiful. What you scrapped, I mean, oh god.
Well, it was decently drawn, but I tell you, all I know is it's like Past Masters was laughing at me like, it speaks to me. My art speaks to me. You know, that's what it's like. You know.
Well,
it has a soul. When you draw it and it's got a soul, man, you're just like, that's it, man.
You know,
that's
the John Singer
when I look at
quote,
Frazetta
right?
stuff, I think when I look at Frazetta, I think that's got a soul. That piece has got a soul, man.
Yeah,
it's soulful.
Yeah,
stuff.
Exactly. Eric Huffles couldn't said it better. So he's like, "Be great, we will win." But it's oh my god! Oh,
I'm sorry I do that. I'm sorry I do that.
Every time you do that, it scares me. Oh my god, Dan. Oh, who was that person? So, but here's the thing about
imagine if someone has like a 52-inch TV screen they're watching the show on, and then they see that.
My wife
and all of a sudden
lives that nightmare.
You're huge in their
day.
living room, like.
Yeah. So yeah, the thing for me with it was is that I remember reading this John Singer Sargent quote, and I went, really, even him? He had 2 quotes I'll never forget. One of them was, being a portrait artist is you do paintings of people where there's always something funny about the mouth. He said whenever he shows a portrait, someone goes, there's something funny about the mouth. That was a Sargent quote. That he goes, I could never do a portrait where someone doesn't say that. And then he goes, there's 2 people responsible in the creation of every work of art: the artist and a person standing behind them with a 2x4 who hits them over the head before they kill it. That was his quote. Sargent.
Yeah.
So
well, think about
that.
The last one I just showed, that copy of that Conan with him, that's gone. Frazetta painted over it. Drives me nuts every time I think about it. Now, what he painted over was damn good too.
It was damn
still,
good.
Just start another painting. For
At least we have an image of it, you know. But there. I said this to somebody, and it's something I really think about whenever I'm doing Nosfero. Is the because I grew up on Todd McFarlane and people like, and I know this may seem like a jump, but somebody like Mike Zeck is a brilliant cartoonist. So he would really push things, and that's what made me love his stuff so much. And so when I see that Frazetta piece where the muscles are just these balls of meat, essentially, like on his chest and his arms, I love it. It's not quote correct, but it's right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's absolutely right. Yeah. Such a good artist.
You know, it's interesting. I don't know if I mentioned this before. Like, I thought, I'm going to create a perfect feathering. So I went in the computer and I made a perfect stroke, and then I just duplicated, repeated it. Made a whole series of it until it was all a perfect thing. And then I tried putting it on an object, and it looked horrible. It was so perfect, but it just looked like mechanical. It had no life. And that's when it really hit me. The imperfections are the perfections. When you draw these things and they're not quite right all the time, they're actually way better than it. And that's why you just can't set up a person and take a video or take a picture and then trace it and stuff, because it just doesn't look. It's not exaggerated. It's not alive. It's weird how that works, but.
Yeah, my heroes, and it's someone. This is Simply Green was just saying this. You might be surprised how much art we've just lost over the years. A bunch of anime from the 70s and 80s just doesn't exist anymore. My heroes are film restorers and people who hunt down film, in terms of research and things like that, because we are going to lose these kinds of things, and the things that sort of drive what I'm doing. In my work with Nosfero, and then all of the other stuff I do, is advocating for the passing on of craft and the traditions of storytelling, which is, not just the structure, but that stories come from artists. They don't come from the outside. Like, artists and creators make corporations in certain instances, but corporations don't tend to be the engine for art. You got to have somebody who is, and by the way, we've talked about this a lot, all three of us. We've got to learn how to promote ourselves. We've got to learn how to make something and finish it, and make something and ship it. That's what it comes down to, and it's hard. And here's the crazy thing about it. People will go, so-and-so's book is, X later, that later, whatever. That's not what I'm talking about, because it's hard to describe. You have the mentality, if you've ever finished a comic book, you know how to do it. If you've ever had to, we've all delivered projects before, you know how to do it. What I'm talking about is when you're in this zero gravity space with nothing to push off on, like no other Wolverine artist. There's not a Nosfero artist before me, right? You're having to create something, handle the printing, and it's made us so productive, so efficient. I mean, when I think about how hard somebody like Ethan or John works, and then drops everything in the middle of his very successful YouTube career to help me launch Nosfero, and I can't even figure out how to push the button. Tragic. But oh, God bless him. But yes, I'm going to, I may or may not be, yes. Shane told me he wants to have me on the show tonight, so I'll be reaching out to him. But yes, that guy, he's another person, right? I've been there. We dropped off
it
kids
actually
in
makes me
college.
angry when people rail about Ethan's late books. There are, there's like, at least there's one that, that's kind of been going for years. But at the same time, he's maintaining and sustaining at least 10 other creators. Like he gets a pass, I mean, it's like he's doing so much for the independent market right now. I mean, how many guys have he? Look at someone like Rainey, whose sales were probably in 30,000. She goes on a show, makes $200,000. It's like that's all. That's what he's doing. And people are like mad. Oh, you're doing drama and stuff. Well,
he had a dream.
That's what you got to make it interesting. You got to keep it going. You got to maintain the audience and keep it fresh. And it's like that's the way it goes.
He had a dream not long ago. He shared on stream that he was scaling up the side of a mountain, and all of these ropes were on him, and these people were hanging off. That he was trying to pull up the mountaintop to get to the top of it. So he had this really intense dream, and I said,
a lot of pressure. Man.
I had a dream that I was being pulled up a mountain by this guy, and I just kept whipping him and saying, faster, faster, and I'm worried. It might have been the same dream, but yeah. So Random McGranderson says, Ethan, God bless you. Random McGranderson says, I collect a series of 1980s and 90s hardcovers called Illustrator Illustrated. Whoa, my curiosity is piqued. Which were art design catalogs for editors. Where is it? Editors. Some of the issues are impossible to find and don't exist on internet or to buy yet. People are mad at Matt Barr when he does it, though. Well, it's for me, the whole thing about collecting these books and collecting these magazines, and also with creators online, right, is that it's the same thing with when Rocky sent me a text. He goes, dude, I didn't know you were streaming. I was going to stream, and I thought, I watch channels like the Y-Files where he has 1 million views in 24 hours, right? Or I watch people like the Grim Life Collective. None of their audience, although unless they've been pitched those channels by me, even know we exist. It's a very big space to create things and to do things. We have a lot of freedom.
So you're saying you didn't know that I existed. That's what you're saying.
No, actually, I made you.
Dang. It's true.
No, and let me finish the sentence. I made you ... start a YouTube channel, and it was so annoying because let me can I get some
Rocky, Shanth is the boss,
Polisards, along these lines, I'm gangster now.
We're made
Dan
men
told me if I make my hat a little crooked, it's the key to staying hip and with it. Polisards, let me share this with you because you're gonna love this, man. So we'll have some new drama happening here. So my brother from another mother, Rocky Ballesteros. Polisards goes, I didn't know you existed. Sorry, and he means that to all three of us. But I was telling Rock, I go, because we went to art school and we did a lot of things where I was teaching and you were working in animation. These are a lot of anonymous fields. You know what I mean? These are a lot of fields where you go out there, it's about the work, it's about the brand you're working on, and you try to create things. And one of the things that I was saying, because I read this somewhere, is start doing things under your own name. Start putting things out there. And you and I must have gone back and forth on that for a little while, because Rock knows his own mind, period. Yes. You can, yeah. I mean, you can't force that man, and I don't want to. But it's like he does. You consider everything. You do. You consider everything that someone throws at you, and you have this great. You're wrong. Yeah, like this really great when you absolutely like. It's a very high pitch, kind of like, oh no, that's yeah. Like it's total like fuck off, but it's your version of it, and But it was funny because I go.
Hey, Sean, now you've seen The Office, right?
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah. You're Prison Mike now. You know, with your
yeah, of course I am.
It's Prison Mike.
You know. Yeah. Oh my god! But it was so funny because I said to him, I go, if people know his name in the industry, and he has fans who know his name. If they're trying to find you, they can't because they type you in. And we're not there, and nobody is forcing us to be anonymous anymore. And at this point, we're all like, whatever our distance is from 50 or 60 or wherever we find ourselves. Like my studio mate, I said to my brother the other day, I go, you're 63. Buy whatever the F you want now. Like, what are you, like, it's like his accountant he's a very careful dude. And his accountant's like going, you can retire. Like, you don't have any kids. He's saved like crazy since he was little. I have to tell him things like new hearing aids would be great, dude. You're hearing impaired. You don't have to suffer for this. Right. Do you know what I mean? And so what I think is so cool
you get that in your mentality in your head. I'm really frugal, It's like, I can't buy that soda. No, I don't.
Look, guys, when Ethan sent me Denny's, I was so happy. And it was like I was eating these sandwiches. And the thing about it is that what I love and I don't care about is people think you're being full of shit when you're positive and you have that mentality of trying to get to the comic store. You know what I mean? Of trying to be able to see things like you can't get there from here. But my appreciation is one of the engines that keeps me alive. It keeps me going, man. Rock and I have had so many late night conversations, like just about tough stuff going on. Us trying to sort things and family health and, all of that kind of thing. But we always, when you see us on stream, we try to give everybody our best. And it goes with our artwork. And Dan, I know you're the same way. You want to share this stuff,
people, and it was, the audience deserves it. If you're going to be a creator and you want to create the best you can do. And also, these YouTube things, that's part of it too. Some of these shows you go on like an Ethan show and you get roasted. It's like, that's good for you as an artist. Get humbled, they make fun of you. That's good. You're entertaining in a lot of levels. And I think that's the new medium now. We've got to really get out there and you have to really give and be, that's not about you. It's about the readers. And that's what if you lose that and you're finished. You got to think, because I think that's what's happening with Marvel and DC. They've lost the attitude that it's about the readers serving their needs and what they want to see. So, they're I don't think they're coming back really from from that attitude. So unless someone had to get an editor chief in there who just cleans house and says, no, we're going to now go and we're going to listen to the readers, find out what they want, and then give them that. Because those characters are always going to be great. Those Spider-Man and Batman, all that stuff. But right now it's the independence. The only place you get the proper attitude is in independence, serving the customer.
Cracker attitude.
Yeah, the cracker attitude is right. That's what I bring. I remember reading this. And I remember thinking, where the heck is this? Let me see if I can find this here, if I can get it. Oh, yeah. So it was a chance meeting between young Kevin and Eastman and Peter Laird in Northampton, Massachusetts in 1982. And I'm reading this Ninja Turtles trade paperback, and I'm going, where the hell, in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where the hell is Northampton, Mass? Cut to our senior year, Rocky and I are driving to Kevin Eastman's museum in Northampton, Massachusetts. As one of the great road trips. There it is, man. So Ninja Turtles, Ferris Comics is here. Ninja Turtles came out of two guys hanging out with an idea. Superman came out of, two guys hanging out having an idea. The Fantastic Four came from two guys sitting around having an idea. Dave Stevens' Rocketeer came from him hanging out with his friends and them saying, Dave, we need some filler pages in this comic we're doing. I'll come up with something. What you guys are watching right now, Nosfero came out of me needing to do some. Oh, that's beautiful, dude. Oh, that is beautiful. My God.
This is the Inklings. Wow. It's about the Inklings.
The Inklings.
Ooh,
Yes, I
really?
know.
I love
Tolkien and C.S. Lewis hanging out
At the Bird and Baby,
they're
right?
like-
The Eagle and
yeah.
Child.
And what
Hanging
is
out.
about what does that book feature? Because I'm interested in the Inklings.
Talks about
this
them
is
hanging
this
out.
is kind of so the woman who wrote this. I guess she's one of the definitive sources of Tolkien and C.S. Lewis's like relationship, but they never had like hardcore proof that their interaction influenced the actual creative work. So it was kind of her. I think she was over the course of like 20 plus years. She was reading all the manuscripts and comparing when they had their conversations and how the manuscripts of like the Lord of the Rings changed after those conversations, and she was trying to draw a correlation.
Did you ever see the video recreation of those two actors of the conversation and the conversion of because Tolkien converted C.S. Lewis from atheism to Christianity. That's the story, anyways. And so anyways, go look it on YouTube and find it. There's a great actor, and they put together this thing, and it's just a great conversation. Cool. and it's interesting because it's Christian apologetics and that sort of thing as well in it. So
I
by the way,
reading this. So.
I'm sorry.
Oh, dude, guys, sorry. I have to interrupt you real quick. Sorry. This is awesome. This is unrelated to my campaign because I'm a terrible salesman, maybe, but very passionate about the things you guys talk about. So the Eagle and Child is one of the most is the place where the Inklings used to meet, and it closed. And it was it's been around since I think they said this something like the 17th century. Like it's nuts.
Wow.
Like at least since the 1700s at least. And it was going to stop, and it's where C.S. Lewis and Tolkien and them hung out. Well, some big, tech company, I guess, bought it with the aim of restoring it and keeping it the Eagle and Child. So, or the Bird and Baby, as it was called, by the people on campus. So I just wanted to share. For those of you guys who've never seen it, if you love C.S. Lewis...
That looks so English, man.
This is the pub where the Inklings would hang out. So there's a little bit of positivity out there in the world of people trying to preserve tradition, preserve history. There's actually many YouTube videos of Tolkien and C.S. Lewis fans visiting that place, and you can actually see there was a plaque there for the what's it called? The damn booth they used to sit in, the little seating area. Corner they would sit in, and that's awesome. That's what I like to think. This is like these are the Inkling meetings, when we get together and talk art. Like, or that's the bar for it, right? Sure, sharing art, talking about these things.
But everybody gets to share in it, which is fantastic, and it's wonderful.
It's great, so great. Anyway, go ahead. You were going to say something. Sorry,
Macanoid is saying that the worst thing about prison is the Dementors. You had your prison hat on. But it made me think of J.K. Rowling. Another interesting situation where she was on a train and she was just sitting there for a while and had her imagination was running wild. She imagined this boy in this as a wizard kind of on the train, and by the time she was done with this ride on the train, she was just like busting with all this stuff was happening in her mind. And when she got off the train, she started writing like crazy. Then she was writing in her apartment. She was writing in a coffee shop. All that kind of stuff is interesting. I'm sure they'll probably preserve that. Maybe someone will do that with their apartment. Be kind of fun.
Her apartment, they did when she finished the last book, they did a documentary, J.K. Rowling: A Year in the Life, and they took her back to her apartment, and she broke down crying, and she said, it's like their Harry Potter books were in the bookshelf in her old apartment, but she broke down crying, and she goes, coming back here is like closing a door. Because whenever I have dreams that it was all not real, this is the place I'm in. So to see it changed means that it's real. Because I just would wake up in that time where I was like broke and trying to figure out how to raise this kid. She fled she doesn't talk about it too much.
Was she like one of the wealthiest people in England now? Holy shit.
She had to flee, I think it was in Spain or Portugal, I'm not sure where, but she got married and she was getting beat up. And she had to flee this dude. Yeah, it was bad. And so she's an incredible story. Later, Mr. Monkey Boy 1969 heading out. I think Norm Macdonald nailed the worst thing about prison. Yes, he sure did. Yeah.
Hey, Shanth, I got to take off too.
All right, brother. It's great. And actually, I'm going to wrap up because we've been going now for 3.5 hours. I gotta roll. And guys, I'm very likely going to be on Shane and Mandy's show tonight. I think Shane asked me about it to promote Nosfero. He's another amazing, generous guy in Comicsgate, so I thank him so much. I will see you guys very soon. I have a lot of channel member credits to update now. A lot of channel member credits to update. So that's gonna be like, you know, the intermission of Lawrence of Arabia when I play those credits. But thank you guys.
Like 2001.
Oh my God, yeah, Overture. That's what it's gonna say.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for being here. Yeah, God bless you guys. Thank you, Pramvat Gulati, for all of your generosity today. And thank you guys for backing Nosfero. We're over 80 backers. Let's see if we can get it to 10K by the end of the weekend. Let's see how that goes. That'd be wild.
That'd be awesome.
All right. Take care, guys. I will see you soon. And as I always like to say, from the heart of Lovecraft Country, in the birthplace of American religious liberty, my name is Shanth Enjeti. This is Shanth Enjeti Art. I am here with Dan the Flawless Lawless. I'm also here with Rocky the Rock Man, the rock star. Ballesteros down there. Speak easy, stay gold, keep the faith, and peace be with you guys. And I will see you guys very, very soon. Take care.